Ever have that one friend who loves something you know nothing about? Something you wish they could explain better? Well, this isn't that show. Welcome to Drunk Fandom, the show where we have a drunk host explain something they love to a sober guest who is clueless.
Drunk Fandom contains swears and other not safe for work content. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. The Fierce Ferrets do not condone excessive drinking, but if you do, please drink responsibly. Enjoy the show!
Welcome to Drunk Fandom. Today we're talking about Avatar, The Last Airbender. I'm Jen.
Not the crappy movie, by the way.
Oh yeah, the animated TV series.
The good one.
I'm Jen, aka Bat, aka Bat Clam, aka Clam. You all keep giving me so many nicknames, and I'm here today with my beautiful wife, Drunk Leia.
I thought you were calling my name was Drunk, and I was like, no, sweetie, I didn't transition to name myself Drunk.
Okay.
However, that would have been like next level big clit energy.
Oh, alright, sure.
Yeah.
So what are we drinking tonight? Or what are you drinking? I wish I were drinking, but I'm not.
I am drinking, and this is so great because it goes well with the theme of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Does it?
I'm drinking Redemption Bourbon.
You're not. Oh, I thought you were gonna be drinking Fireball.
That would have also been very good, but we don't have any. Alright, so yes, okay, so one of the things that I have to ask, I've been drinking prior to this, so
That is the whole point of the podcast,
Yes,
yeah.
I have to ask you a question.
Sure, ask away.
Wait, what was the
Now you're just punking me.
am I? You'll never know.
Mm-hmm,
Oh yeah. So what do you know about Avatar? And don't talk about all the weird little tidbits I've been telling you while I've been drinking and eating ribs.
Yeah, she's been fun with me having to constantly remind her to stop telling me things about Avatar. It's all been like pretty non-important stuff.
Just that,
so
like Sokka.
things
is
I do
funny.
know is I know that it has to do with the four elements. I know Sokka. I think he dated the moon because there's a ton of memes about it. I know like the three main characters, right? There's Aang, Kristen, and Sokka.
No, Katara, not Kristen.
God, I do that every time.
Kristen is a
My brother yelled at
super normalized name. You have Aang, Sokka, and Kristen? Are you for real?
My
All
brother
right,
just
good.
yelled
We're
at
about
me
to teach you some shit.
this last week, and I even knew. I'm like, I know I'm gonna screw her name up.
Oh my god, you could not
Actually,
have screwed it up.
I was closer last time. I said Katrina.
That's
but then,
a hurricane.
Right, but so that's why just now I was about to say Katrina, but then I remembered my brother being like, "That's a hurricane," so I stopped and I'm like, "That's a K name."
Here I am. Rock me like a hurricane. Yeah.
Listen.
All right, so for those of you who don't know, my name is Leia. We're not going by my previous name.
Honey.
And this is the point of which I'm very sensitive about my voice, because I'm still in the midst of training my voice to be more feminine. So I'm pre-transition. So everybody behave in the comments or you will be purged, like that trilogy series of films. That's right. We'll come to your homes. You better have security.
I'm pretty sure it was longer than a trilogy.
No, I'm pretty sure The Purge was just a trilogy.
No, because I think they had 1, 2, 3, and then the like weird
1, 2,
4th
3,
of
how
July
much
one.
can we milk thee? Okay, so you clearly don't know much about Avatar: The Last Airbender.
It's like things I know are so random. Like I know there's a blind kid. You know what I mean? Like
her name is Toph and she's a bean.
I'm excited to hear about her. There's I know Zuko too because everyone talks about him a lot.
Yes.
Because him and Sokka are bros? I don't know.
Two other things. If anybody hears a slight distortion or echo, we have tried very hard to get OBS to not be a nerd.
We're still in the process of fixing our mics. It's what it is.
So, like, we actually, prior to this, spent, like, a good hour trying to make sure she could even be heard. So
yeah.
it's just whatever. You'll have to deal with it. Like the Avatar would. Master of all four elements. Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna give you a couple of bits of tidbits. A couple of bits of tidbits.
Oh, okay.
About like little fluff stuff, and also we are only going to be going over Avatar: The Last Airbender, the original series, and not the comics. The comics will hopefully make it into a future Drunk Fandom, as well as Korra. which is the following series. It's amazing how it's taken. This series is 15 years old.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And it's
Well,
like they've
it's-
only had 2 real things in some comics. It's amazing how Hollywood fucked up the the live action so much. It basically stunted everything else.
Well, I
and
remember...
and Netflix is doing the same thing.
I remember the whole reason I, like, missed out on watching it is because it came out around the time where, like, I started being bored by TV. So I just, like, never watched it. Like, occasionally it would be on. And where, like, I think I might have seen a couple episodes too, but, like, I really don't remember, you know, with the mold and everything.
So, Avatar: The Last Airbender started in 2005. I remember because I watched it when it came out, and this is what I like to... This is a little bit of a info blurb. I like to compare the original Avatar: The Last Airbender series to Star Wars, the original series. The original trilogy.
So there's spaceships.
No. I meant it in the sense of the story of Avatar Aang is very reminiscent of Luke Skywalker's journey in the whole trope of the hero's journey.
Okay.
So for what you need to know is that Avatar: The Last Airbender, it's such a rich setting. I can't even like hope to talk about everything. Like normally we like to shoot for an hour and a half. This might be even 2 hours. It's that there's a lot to cover. So let me tell you about the Avatar. Korra, the Legend of Korra really delves into the history of the Avatar. I've never actually, at the time of this recording, I've never watched Legend of Korra. I missed the window for that. It's on Netflix now. I can't wait to check it out. But Jen has specifically told me we're doing Drunk Fandom before you can watch that because I want to watch it with you. And I'm like, okay, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
So we're just going to be talking about OG Avatar: The Last Airbender basic rules. So anything that was done in Korra, we're not talking about. So at this point, what you need to know about the Avatar is they are the master of all 4 elements. The world is 4 different nations: water tribes,
Okay.
air nomads,
Okay.
the Fire Nation, and the Earth Kingdoms. And they are all influenced by real world, cultures and empires and stuff like that. I'm trying to remember. There are multiple cultures too. That's the wild part.
Okay, well, I mean that makes sense from
the... are primarily inspired by the Inuits. The Earth Kingdoms are inspired by traditional Chinese culture. The Earth Kingdom is inspired... not Earth Kingdom. The Fire Nation. I said Earth Kingdom already. The Fire Nation is inspired by the Imperial Japan. And the Air Nomads are inspired by... I know one of them was the Hindis. Because there's a guru character who... straight up is Hindi. Like if you look at this character, this whole setting was not whitewashed, which by the way, Netflix, if you ever hear this, backpedal your decision. Don't be dumb. You will make so much more money if you just appeal to the right crowd now.
Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb.
Yeah, so like in addition to that, the Air Nomads, I believe, had I don't remember the other one. That each nation is based on like several different things.
Okay.
And it's really wild because like a lot of these things, when done by white creators, can be kind of like strong-armed in a way where it doesn't feel organic. Avatar was not that way. Avatar had a lot of love and nurturing. It's very, very well done. To be completely honest, if you want to talk about how well it holds up, when it was re-released on Netflix in the last few months of 2020, I believe we're on day 200, Blur's Day, March 2020.
Right.
Avatar came out on Netflix a couple of months ago, and it topped the charts for weeks. Like, Avatar holds up. It's that good. So,
yeah, I think you were telling me a little about that.
So good. When I say it's the Star Wars of the millennial generation, I mean that. It literally is something that will... If people have seen it, they go, wow, I know what you're talking about, fam.
Alright.
So, the Avatar. They're the master of all 4 elements. There's this thing called bending. It's basically like magic. you're able to bend or control the element.
I dig it.
And one of the cool things that Avatar: The Last Airbender does is that the first season really topples, like, the bending is, like, really rudimentary, and then as the series progresses, you see them all do crazy stuff.
Okay,
Like-
so now... I'm sorry, I don't wanna...
Go for it. Ask
Okay,
questions,
so
yeah.
since the Avatar is the master of the 4 elements, that means one person can only know one bending.
Yes.
Do they have to learn it, or is it like
Yes.
a natural thing?
It is a natural thing that has to be
Oh.
honed.
Well, anything that's natural has to be honed, but I meant like, you know how you have sorcerers and wizards?
Yeah. They're all sorcerers, and they can't really... They're sorcerers who have to learn to be wizards, basically. Like, you have the innate talent, but you have to actually learn how to hone it.
Wait, I thought wizards are the ones born with it, and sorcerers...
No, sorcerers are your mommy or daddy, or however they self-identify. They banged a dragon, and then now you're their baby, and now you have magic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what
Okay,
sorcerers
okay.
were.
I guess I confused the two.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Wizards are studious. Sorcerers are like, my daddy, mommy, diddled a dragon.
Oh.
Yeah, it's, I mean, have you seen dragons? Look at the one from Ring Fit. I did it.
I mean,
Well,
ass?
pass. Well, you have. I was gonna say bad taste, but you're my wife.
I like fur more than scales?
That's fair. I also like fur more than scales.
Eben, you didn't hear this.
One of our moderators is a scaly. Anywho. So, what you have to understand is, since the inception, thousands upon thousands of years, there's always been an avatar, a spiritual master of all 4 elements, charged with keeping balance of the world. They're the only one that can wield all 4 elements. So, it's been 100 years since the appearance of the last avatar. Avatar
Wow.
Roku.
Wait, how long does the avatar live?
Okay, so this is actually a good question. It depends on the avatar,
Okay.
but the oldest living avatar lived over 200 years, and that was Avatar Kiyoshi. Most of them live a couple of 100 years, yeah. At least 100 years, yeah, unless they're killed.
Oh.
Yeah. And so what happens with the avatar is, if they are killed, they are reincarnated into the next nation.
Oh.
Yeah, so the cycle goes, to my knowledge, I can't remember the specific order. It goes air, water, earth, fire.
Oh, so you could actually track the avatar.
Yes, and
Okay.
they actually have a whole set of people who are devoted to tracking the avatar, because when the the avatar will die
Oh.
as
well,
natural
I mean,
progression happens.
Right.
And then a new avatar is immediately born once they're dead.
Okay.
But they traditionally wouldn't identify the avatar until they're 16. So they have to look for them and then go, oh, well, yo, dog, you're the avatar. And then the avatars be like, shut
Yo,
the
dog.
front door, I am. And they'd be like, yeah, you're going to balance the world. And then they're like, that's a lot of responsibility, man. Holy shit. I guess. So yeah, like literally the second the avatar dies, reincarnate.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not even like a little wait. It's like literally when Roku died, Aang was born.
Okay.
So this is the story of Avatar Aang. Roku died 100 years ago. During that time, the Fire Nation decided to be like, hey, you know what? We're so great. Why don't we spread our greatness to the world?
Oh.
Yeah. Colonizing.
First mistake.
Yeah, they basically waged a 100-year war. In fact, at this point in the story, like the Southern Water Tribe, there's 2 water tribes, Southern, Northern. Southern Water Tribe is basically decimated. The Earth Kingdoms are constantly under attack by the Fire Nation, and a lot of that nation is colonized anyway. And the Fire Nation is just winning this war. It's a 100-year war. That's what the name of the war, the 100-year war. It started during the arrival of Sozin's Comet.
Okay.
And the Avatar disappeared.
Sorry, I'm gonna just back into the mic.
It's okay, I'm gonna be belching a lot in the mic. I'm drunk. Hi, my name is Leia. So we start off with the boy in the iceberg. Right? It's been 100 years, and there's been no sight of the Avatar, so the world just thinks they're either dead or abandoned the world, when it's their responsibility to maintain balance and keep the world safe.
Why would the world think he's dead? Wouldn't he just reincarnate? They gotta know something's up.
Immediately.
That's what I'm saying. That means something's got to be up, right?
Okay, yeah, that's actually a valid assumption. You see, the thing is, when Sozin's Comet 100 years ago came, the Fire Nation killed all of the air nomads.
Why?
Because the Avatar was going to be reborn into the air nomad cycle. And so Fire Lord Sozin, in order to spread their grand vision, used the power of Sozin's Comet to literally attack all of the air nomad sanctuaries and temples.
Wait, so the comet's magical?
I'm gonna get to that.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
It amplifies firebending.
Oh.
So, like, where, you know, like, if I were to, like, throw my fist forward and, like, fire would come out?
Sure.
Yeah. Because that happens for real.
Totally, yeah, 100%.
That's what firebending
That's
is.
how we light fires here.
Sozin's Comet, and Aang finds out about this later on in the journey, but Sozin's Comet actually, for some reason, buffs the Fire Nation firebending. So
Cool.
It makes firebending like, you know, when you're like, oh, it's just fire. Well, now it's like a fucking, like, giant wave of fire.
Okay, so let me just get this straight, right?
Yeah.
The one guys who decide, you know what, I feel like invading the Earth, they get a super space rock power-up? What kind of rigged Smash Brothers... What kind of rigged Smash Brothers game is this?
Yeah, they used items when everybody else agreed not to.
Right!
Yeah, it was bad. So they killed all of the airbenders, and that's going to be episode 3. So let's just you're going to have to remember to forget that.
Wait, why are you telling me now then?
Because you asked questions, Jennifer.
Okay, alright.
Let me explain shit. So it's been 100 years since the Avatar has been seen, so everybody's just like, they dead, dog. And so we start off with Katara and Sokka of the Southern Water Tribe, just like they're sailing in their little like canoe.
Aw.
And I want to talk about Avatar in a grand scheme of, they've handled so many topics really well. Sokka in the first 4 episodes is such a sexist little prick.
Of course.
No, and think about how many people love Sokka.
No, but like, isn't he like a kid?
Yeah, he's like 15.
Yeah, because I remember, like, Netflix wanted to age him up, which is always, like, a bad sign.
Sokka is a 15-year-old warrior of the Southern Water Tribe. So,
he's a warrior at 15?
Yeah, well, they've been at war for 100 years.
Oh, that's true. Oh, that makes me so sad, though.
So, what happens is, you know, he's being, like, a sexist, like, you know, like, at this point in the story, there have been no waterbenders in the Southern Water Tribe for years. The Fire Nation either abducted or killed them all. They would routinely come and like, take people.
So, not even just the airbenders at this point, they're just killing benders in general.
Yeah, or abducting them. They
That's
straight up
rude.
killed all the airbenders, and I think they would have captured them, but the reality is they killed them to be like, well, the fucking Avatar is gonna come, so we might as well kill them all.
Yeah.
Turns out the Avatar ran. And we're gonna get to that again. So, you know, Katara and Sokka are talking. Sokka's being a little sexist prick, being like, you know, leave it to a girl to fucking fuck up everything up and use magic. Because he views bending as magical. She can actually bend stuff. And
so she's a bender, but he's not.
She is the last bender of the Southern Water Tribe, yes.
That's not a good, that's probably gonna end up very badly.
Anywho, so they come across an iceberg. And in it, they see a person. And so, they, you know, Katara is like, stop being a little bitch, Sokka, and everything, like, you know, after being like, you're a sexist little dipshit, because he's like, leave it to a girl to screw everything up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, straight up. He gets better, though, by the way, which is great.
Well, I've never heard any disdain for any of the characters in Avatar, so I'm gonna assume that they're all pretty good.
Avatar does an amazing job of taking characters that are flawed and making them learn. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Like, Sokka learns from their mistakes. Alright, so where was I at?
They were fighting because he was being sexist.
Okay. So they uncover this, iceberg. And they see a person inside. So Katara is like, let me go whack it a little bit. And they're like, whack the iceberg now.
Oh, okay.
Bring our savior forth. And Aang comes out. And Aang comes out, Aang is the last airbender. and they notice it from his tattoos. So airbending is obviously a lost art, as they have all died.
Yeah, it's been like
Airbenders
100
have
years,
specific
right?
Yes.
Okay.
They have specific tattoos.
Oh.
An arrowhead. It's to compare to the flying bison, which we also are introduced to Appa, the flying bison, who is awesome. Yeah. Excuse me. So he's a flying bison, and Avatar's an air, and Aang's an airbender.
Wait. But he doesn't have wings, right? I feel like I've seen the bison before.
The bison do not have wings. They
just
are
fly?
six-legged animals, and they kind of like fly through the
Wait,
sky.
why do they have 6 legs?
They just do. Because, okay, so one of the things that you have to know about Avatar, and it's going to be like a 3-hour thing, I swear to God. One of the things to know about Avatar, right?
Yeah.
Is that all the animals are weird. And generally, you know how I said flying bison? And it has 6 legs? That's like the least weird thing. You have platypus bears.
Okay.
Yeah, you have turtle ducks.
I love it.
Flying lemurs. Like, you have a bunch of animals that are just like, hey, name 2 animals right now. A bat and a clam.
Yeah, I was gonna say me.
That would be an Avatar fucking animal.
No, one, because it's my animal.
No, I know, but that's the thing I'm saying. It's like a lot of the animals were just like, that's a whooping crane. That's a spider crane. Like, and that sounds horrifying, honestly.
I mean, I think that sounds
Spider
amazing.
geese. They talk about in the last couple of episodes the spider fly. Yeah. So like a bunch of, and then at some point they're regular like cats and bears. So it's just, oh my God, my mic. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, chat. I'm sorry, losers, listeners. I'm drunk. I didn't mean trunk. I'm drunk. Okay. Future Deacon, I'm sorry.
You have to cut that out. You cannot.
If you don't, I will fucking kill you.
But stop!
I will murder you. I will murder you, Deacon. I will come to your home and end you. I will give you sweet oblivion.
Are you good? Are you done?
Wow, Drunk Leia is kind of bloodthirsty. Oh, my tooth. Okay. Just kidding. I love you, Future Deacon. Alright, you ready?
Yes.
3, 1. Alright, so yeah, so the whole, like...
So the kid was broke out of the iceberg.
Yes, and just, you know, animals are weird in this setting.
Yeah,
But they're also adorable. Once you see a turtle duck, you're gonna lose your shit. So, he comes out of the iceberg, and he's like, I have a question. And she's like, how the fuck were you in that iceberg? How are you alive? And he's like, are there any, you know, like, penguins around here? I forget what even kind of penguins are there.
Oh my God, I just looked up the turtle duck!
She just did, yeah.
That's the cutest thing in the world!
Yeah, they are pretty cute.
I'm sorry, so you were saying...
Yeah, okay,
why
so
does
they
he
get out
want
of
to
the
pay?
iceberg, and he's
Wait,
like,
why
I
does
have a question. He's basically being like, yeah, no, I'm an airbender, and, you know, this is a flying bison, and Katara and Sokka, like, they haven't been around for like 100 years, and he's like, no, we're nomads, they probably just went somewhere, and Sokka's like, you want to tell him about the Fire Nation and the 100-Year War? And Katara's like, I don't want to fucking break this kid's heart, he's like 12. She's like 14, Sokka's like 15. Yeah, Aang is 112 years old. He's been in the ice for 100 fucking years.
Oh.
Yeah. And so they're like, this is a flying bison. He's like, yeah, sure it is. And the bison's tired, so he doesn't want to fly.
Of course.
So they go there in the town and the Southern Water Tribe and everything like that. And, you know, and Aang is introduced. And meanwhile, we are introduced to Prince Zuko and General Iroh. General Iroh is his uncle, and Prince Zuko is the prince of the Fire Nation, who has been banished.
Oh, he's a prince.
He's a prince. Okay,
nice.
So we're gonna his stuff is talked about in backstory, so we're just gonna talk about it now.
Okay.
So you can understand why he's such an asshole at the beginning.
Oh, alright.
So Prince Zuko, he was banished from the Fire Nation for speaking out of turn. He was in a meeting with his father and his uncle. His uncle is a failed general. He failed to take the Earth Kingdom of Ba Sing Se. And the reason why he failed is because his son Lieutenant, he died in the battle, and Iroh was so grief-stricken that he couldn't continue. And because of that, like, he was disgraced and everything like that. He's known as the Dragon of the West. And he was he got so close to taking Ba Sing Se, but didn't do it. And when his son died, he was like, "Fuck this war, man. I don't even care."
I mean, that's usually what happens, yeah.
Yeah. Fast forward when we get to the Tales of Ba Sing Se, I'm gonna cry. Yeah, no. So his son died, and he always viewed Zuko as a son.
Aww.
Yeah. And Zuko was banished from the Fire Kingdom because the generals of the Fire Nation were going to sacrifice troops to basically, like, kind of do the Roman technique of throw the fresh troops at the enemy and see what happens, and then you weaken the enemy, and then you send in the vets. And Zuko thought, these are people who are loyal to our nation. You shouldn't do that. And so the guy was like, the general was like, well, fuck you. You're 13, 14 years old, 15 years old, like, you're a little dipshit. And Zuko's like, I'm not a dipshit, I have a fucking heart.
I shouldn't laugh at that, because he's trying to do the right thing, but...
No, Zuko's great, you're gonna love him. He's the villain of the first season, but there's so much... He has one of the best redemption arcs next to Toru of Jackie Chan Adventures, which is another Drunk Fandom we should fucking
Oh my
do.
God, yeah, see, you can have that one.
Deal.
Not because I don't want to do it, but I can imagine it'd be really
fucking...
funny for you to explain that one.
One more thing. Anyway, so in Fire Nation they have this thing called an Agni Kai, which is a duel where two firebenders will just go at it with fire. So he's like, I disrespect you, Agni Kai time. And Zuko's like, I'm not afraid. I'm 15. I'm in the prime of my life. You're a 30-year-old man.
So this is a duel. This is a duel to the death.
Or a duel to, like, whoever gets fucking maimed. But yeah, generally, like, death or, like, aim. So anyway, because they were in the Fire Nation's, the Fire Lord's, aka his dad's war chamber, he technically disrespected his dad. And so when he turned to face his opponent, he didn't see the general, he saw his dad and was like, I don't want to fight my dad, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean it. And his father was like, fucking fight me, dog. Like,
I was literally about to ask if he's got a surrogate uncle dad. I'm guessing his dad sucks or is dead. Those are the two things.
His dad is voiced by Mark Hamill, and he's one of the biggest douchebags.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Mark Hamill plays great villains. Anyway, so Fire Lord Ozai is like, you will face me or you will learn a lesson. He's like, please, I didn't mean to disrespect you. I just was thinking about the Fire Nation. He's like, get up, boy! Get the fuck up! And he's like, I'm just gonna be your son. And he's like, I'm gonna teach you a lesson. And Zuko's sister is watching, and so is Iroh, and Iroh's like covering his eyes.
He has a sister?
Yeah, he has a sister.
Okay.
Her name is Azula, and she's a cunt.
Oh,
I hate using that word lightly, but she's a cunt.
Okay.
She's bad.
That explains, someone did a picture.
Oh,
it was like in an Instagram style, where the girl was like taking a photo of herself, and Zuko was drowning in the background.
Yep.
And the comments were like,
accurate.
And the comments were like, like your brother's drowning, or like
this ain't about him.
This ain't about him.
That's 100% her. That's Azula to a T. So some backstory, right? So Zuko, like his sister was like, yeah, Dad, do it, and his uncle was like, no, brother, don't do it. And so Zuko is begging for forgiveness. He's 15. You know what Ozai does? Shoots fire at his face, burns the entire left side of his face. So his eyebrow's gone. He's got a giant scar in the left side of his face.
That's where the scar comes from. I've seen it.
His dad.
Oh, what a dick.
Yeah. And his dad goes, you know what? That ain't it. You're fucking banished. Never return to the Fire Nation, ever. Unless you capture the Avatar. And at this point, it's been like 100 years, so no one thinks he's even alive.
Right, so he gives him a golden, goose chase or what the fuck ever.
Yeah, and there's no golden goose that they think of. They think, well, we're gonna win this war. Fuck it, Avatar, go. That way, I don't look like an asshole for killing my son.
Right.
Yeah. So Zuko sees the light erupt from the iceberg, and be like, "That's gotta be the Avatar, dog." And his uncle was like, "Yeah, I guess." By the way. So I need to talk about this. His uncle is Uncle Iroh. He's voiced by a very famous voice actor named Mako. Mako?
Okay.
I'm thinking Mako from Final Fantasy. Mako. Popular Japanese voice actor. Unfortunately, he died. This was also the voice actor for Aku from Samurai Jack.
Oh.
And, yeah. Such a great person and such a great character. When they did die, they did actually replace them.
Well,
it's why. Well, they did it in a really interesting way because for the first couple episodes of season 3, he didn't talk. That's around the time he died, so they I guess they just had like moments where they could work it in, and eventually a new voice actor. I can't remember their name.
I mean, it's fine if you don't remember.
I have the Greg Baldwin. There we go.
Well,
and what's really funny about Greg Baldwin, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Is they eventually replaced Mako in Samurai Jack too. So this person just kind of like helped finish the legacy that Mako left behind.
Well, that's nice.
Mako. I keep fucking up his name. Anyway, so they go to the Southern Water Tribe, Zuko and everything, and they go and attack. And Sokka is like Fire Nation because they remember it's a PTSD trigger, right? Of when you see soot in the air, that means the Fire Nation's coming to fuck things up.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So they go. They go. And Sokka goes and he's like, I'm gonna fight the Fire Nation. And he's leading all the kids, and the kids are like, I'm scared. And he's like, don't worry, I'll protect you. And he goes to fight Zuko as they come in. He just gets spanked, but eventually he throws his boomerang and knocks Zuko's helmet off and laughs. And Zuko's mad. And Zuko, wants the Avatar. And, Aang reappears after being banished from the tribe. They were banished because they investigated a fallen Fire Navy ship. All their ships are, like, made of metal and whatnot.
I have a question. How did Zuko know to check at this exact moment?
Because when the Iceberg erupted with Aang's freedom, they saw a blast of light in the sky. And they're like, that's gotta be the Avatar, dog. Yeah.
Okay, so, thinking of everything.
Yeah, so yeah. They cover everything really well. So, so Aang is like, you know what? I'll just go with you. And Katara's like, yo, don't do that. You're the fucking Avatar. They're gonna kill you, dog. And Aang's like, don't worry. And so Aang tries to escape the ship. When they capture him and
right.
Because he didn't want them to burn the whole town of the Southern Water Tribe to the ground. And so Katara and Sokka are riding Yappa trying to figure out how to get him to fly, and they remember the phrase "yep yep," and he flies, and Sokka's like, "Oh shit, they were legit! Holy shit, flying bison and everything!" Because no flying bison has been seen in like 100 years either.
Right.
Yeah, so they go to rescue Aang, and then they meet up, and Zuko and everybody are fighting them, and it's like fire. And Sokka gets frozen to the ship because Katara's not really in control of her waterbending. So it's a mess. Like when everything looks really bleak, Aang gets really mad and starts glowing. All the tattoos start glowing. And they enter something known as the Avatar state.
Okay.
So, I could explain this down the line, but I'm going to explain it now so you know what it is. The Avatar state is the culmination of all past avatars. Giving them, it's a defense mechanism.
Okay.
All past avatars imbue the current avatar with their knowledge and their experience. So even though Aang is 112, basically 12, they've been in the ice for 100 years. So they're basically only 12, but chronologically they're 112, right? You get that?
Yeah.
So they don't really have experience with waterbending, firebending, they only have mastered airbending at this point.
Nice, okay.
Right? This imbues them with all the knowledge. So Aang just basically whirlwinds the water around and destroys the ship.
So why can't he just forever be in the Avatar state then? like
that's a valid point. So the Avatar state needs to be mastered. It's a defense mechanism and the Avatar is threatened.
Okay.
However, if their chakras are locked, or if they enter it willingly, if the Avatar were to die in the Avatar state, the cycle of reincarnation is broken. That means no more future avatars. That's found out in season 2. But she's asking questions. We're
Well,
gonna just
isn't it
answer.
important I learned that in season
Yeah.
2? Like, it's fine.
It's the first episode of season 2. We're fine. Roku explains it.
They know you're not gonna. You're drunk. Just keep going.
I'm
Stop
so
apologizing.
drunk.
Okay.
Anyway,
So,
yes.
he
So
ever stir
basically-
state, like, whoosh whoosh. I assume Zuko retreats.
It's like Super Doom time. Super Doom time.
Right.
Anybody coming at me is gonna have an unfun time. And that's what Zuko has. Their whole ship gets, like, destroyed by a fucking, like, whirlwind of pain and ice.
How
And,
does he?
you know,
How does he leave if his ship gets?
they repair it, and then they dock it, and then you're introduced to Captain Zhao,
Okay.
who is one of the main antagonists of season 1. So they escape, and the Aang gang, or the Aang, or the gang. It's called the gang.
That's
Gaang. The gang. You know, Sokka and Katara and Aang go visit the Southern Air Temple, right? And that was where Aang was originally from, and you know he's eager to return it. And they're like, I don't know what they're gonna find out. So during this episode, right? During this shit right here, it shows that Aang reflects about his mentor Monk Gyatso.
Monk Gyatso. There's a space there, right? It's not one
Monk
word. Okay.
Gyatso. So the air nomad culture is actually really fascinating. They believe in not, having like worldly attachments and stuff like that. They believe in enlightenment. It's very Buddha.
Okay.
Monk Gyatso was Aang's airbending instructor. So when the Avatar is found, they basically are told, like, hey, you're going to learn from masters to master your craft so you can become a fully realized Avatar.
Oh, all right.
So you are trained for generally years.
I could imagine being a master of, 4 times of magical nonsense.
And then your job details basically are like, keep the world in check.
Oh, is that the job? I don't think you're actually talking about the point of the Avatar. You just kind of talked about
like
what the Avatar
hey,
is.
That kingdom they're over there, who's starting war. Fucking fix that shit.
Oh, so they would have fixed the Fire Nation if they hadn't died.
Yeah.
Basically. Nice.
Roku actually, because of Roku's death, the Fire Nation became a thing. This war became a thing.
That
Yeah,
sucks.
and avatars.
Roku's sitting there in his grave like, I could have just lasted one more
he's
year.
Sitting in, like, Aang. Avatars can access their past lives.
Oh.
So, Avatar
You think Roku
Aang,
just wait? You think Roku just comes to Aang while he's like in his dreams, being like, "Hold on, I really need to vent about this just a little bit longer."
Kind of does, actually. You're not even exaggerating. Avatar and Roku is like, "Yo, dude, I fucked up. You gotta fix this shit."
Oh,
I let my personal feelings get in the way of fucking killing that bitch.
What? Wait, did he almost do it?
Did
he almost Jamie Lannister this? Okay, alright, I'm sorry.
So, we're gonna talk about Zuko, right? Zuko comes back into this town, and Captain Zhao is like, what happened to your ship? Like, avalanche, man. Because he doesn't want anybody to know about the whole, like, the Avatar's alive. I gotta find him to restore my honor. Other people find him.
Oh yeah, he's like crying wolf to these people, I bet. Right? He's like,
No,
the
he's
Avatar,
thinking,
the
he's like-
Avatar.
No, he's not even like, I found the Avatar. He's like, Avatar's dead. Fuck that shit. Because he wants to capture him.
Oh, so he's not telling them he found the Avatar.
The only way he can go home is if he captures him and brings Aang
Oh, I thought he like ran back and was being like,
with him. No, his ship gets
Right,
broken
okay.
and repairs it. They're like, what happened? He's like, avalanche. And then people,
his dad's gonna kill him
and
when
then
he
Zhao
finds
is
out.
like, yeah, that's not what your crew said. They said the fucking Avatar did this, you bitch. He's like, they don't know what they saw.
Oh no!
I don't even. And then Iroh was like, "This tea is wonderful." and then Zuko's like, "Uncle, like, stop right now, please."
I'm like really I assume I should be hating Zuko, but because I know he like becomes a good guy, I like feel bad for him. I'm like, I'm sorry, bro, that sucks.
His dad just burned his face. It's like you're banished.
Right.
You understand why he's kind of a dick. So, you know, Admiral Zhao was like, you know what, capturing the Avatar is too important to deal with a petulant child like you. He's like, I'm a petulant child, you a little bitch. And he's like, call me a bitch? He's like, you know what I said? I'm the prince of the fucking Fire Nation. And he's like, no, you're a banished prince. And he's like, that's cold dog. That's cold.
Oh, that's cold dog.
That's cold dog.
Okay.
So they have an Agni Kai. An Agni Kai.
Again?
Yeah.
We went through this already. I know what it is.
No, it's a firebender. Yeah,
you do this again?
Holy shit,
you just explained it.
Yeah, you did that thing. So they have it, and Zuko's like, I'm gonna fuck him up. He's like punching his knuckles. I'm punching my knuckles right now. I'm drunk and I can't even feel pain. It's great.
Don't keep punching yourself.
All right, I'm punching my knuckles. I'm hyped. So, you know, and Iroh's like, just remember your basics. And so they have this cool firebending duel,
yeah,
right? And like, like Zhao is way more experienced and everything like that. And Zuko kind of like turns it around. Zhao knocks him down, knocks his footing off, and Zuko does this cool like flip kick, and then fire in his face, and Zhao breaks his stance, and then Zuko gets up and is like, fireball, 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 and he's like, meanwhile throwing like sand packets like it's a fucking LARP.
Okay.
Yes. This is why you come to Drunk Fandom. You come from me. I'm a queen. I'm the queen.
We're all funny here on Drunk Fandom.
I'm the funniest. I'm the queen of funny.
Sure. I mean, you are quite hilarious. I'm not gonna say you're not.
Yeah, so he knocks him down, right? And, you know, like, he wins the Agni Kai. And as he turns his back, Zhao gets mad and tries to hit him with fire. Yeah, and you know what Iroh does? Iroh goes and just grabs his fucking, like, foot or his hand or whatever limb he's using, and he goes, this is what the great Captain Zhao does in defeat. And he pushes him back and he goes, shameful.
Shit.
My nephew, even in his banishment, has showed more honor today than you have shown in a lifetime.
Oof.
You're gonna love Iroh, by the way. He is.
I'm hearing it. I'm feeling it already. Iroh's great. Do we get to see a lot of him?
You do. He's one of the best characters. In fact, okay, we're not gonna talk about this in the comic stuff, but he eventually becomes interim Fire Lord for a day, and you know what he does? Makes
Everyone with tea, right?
He makes National Tea Appreciation Day as his first decree.
I love it.
He's a sweet being who we must protect. We stand for Iroh. So, so that's what's happening for Zuko.
Okay.
Now back in the Southern Air Temple, you know, they you know, Katara, Aang, and Sokka are exploring, playing games. They find a lemur. And they, before they find a lemur, they encounter, like, a room full of, statues that Aang wasn't allowed to see. Okay. And they're all statues of the previous Avatar reincarnation.
Okay. What's wrong with that?
So they look at the latest statue, and they're like, why does it stop here? And Aang goes, that's Avatar Roku. That's my past life. And they're like, how did you know that? And you go, I don't know, I just know it. The Avatar is in tune with their past lives, whether they realize it or not.
Okay.
So,
no, it's actually fascinating because, so I study a lot of, like, I like to watch a lot of weird videos about conspiracies and, like, weird phenomenons, and kids who have, like, remember past lives, that's basically what they're like. Like, they talk about like that, right? It's very fascinating to look into, actually.
Yeah, and so Sokka's like, you were a firebender? No wonder I didn't trust you. And they're like, they're chasing after the lemur and everything like that. And at this point, oh yeah, I forgot. When they get to the temple, Sokka finds a Fire Nation helmet, and Katara hides it. They don't show. Yeah, they're like, no, the monks. Angus like the monks just must have ran off. You know, to not fight because they were a peaceful nation. They didn't have an organized military or anything like that.
Right.
And so eventually, you know, they're chasing the lemur, and Aang chases the lemur that they eventually name Momo.
Aww.
And they encounter a spot in the Southern Air Temple, and this is really sad. I'm gonna cry now thinking about it.
Oh.
They see dozens of Fire Nation skeletons, and they see one Airbender skeleton. and he's wearing Monkey Atsu's necklace. And Aang sees his deceased mentor, and he enters the Avatar state because he's so overwhelmed with emotion, and he just like a hurricane starts coming off. And when this Avatar state happens as well, all the nations, so they had like fire sages, water sages, earth sages,
Okay.
and air sages. Like when the Avatar came back, they would know. The sages could see the temple light up.
Okay.
And so the Fire Nation is like, the Avatar's back, motherfucker. We gotta kill this bitch if we're gonna win this war.
Wait, so why did it only just go off now? Because he just went to the Avatar state in the temple?
Yeah, plot hole.
Oh, okay.
Even though he went in the state. You know, I mean, they've been so good about their plot holes. Let's just give them this one, right?
Well, that's why I wondered if it's like because he was in the temple. Like, are they connected that way?
Maybe
Okay.
that was a good way. But like, he's there, and Katara goes, "Aang, I know you have lost people, but I lost people too. We'll be here together. The Fire Nation took my mother."
Oh,
Yeah, her mother died protecting them.
that's very sad.
It is sad.
This is pretty feelsy for a kid.
It deals with the trauma of war really well. So, you know, they talk him out of the Avatar state, and, you know, she hugs him, and she's like, it's gonna be okay, and they adopt Momo, and they have a new little pet. He's a flying lemur. He's like a lemur monkey. Right, and he can fly. Alright, so now we're here.
What is here?
So that was the beginning of it. Now we're up to one of the best episodes ever. It's the fourth episode. That's just the first 3 episodes.
How much time have we been?
40 minutes, but there's some cuts here.
I hope so, because you've almost used half of the show on 3 episodes.
It's bad.
Gotta speed it up. Are we at the end of the first season? Was that it?
We're like 16 episodes from the first season ending.
Oh right, you just said only 4 episodes in.
We're actually
Lady!
more like 16 episodes.
Oh my god, lady.
All right, so we're gonna get to it. We're gonna go.
Okay.
You've gotten backstory, which is seen
I have.
episodes. So we go to the Warriors of Kiyoshi, 4th episode. Aang and the gang end up to Kiyoshi Island to ride a giant koi fish. But
Okay.
Aang almost dies to the Unagi, which is a giant sea serpent. They're captured by a group of female warriors,
Okay.
the Kiyoshi warriors,
Okay.
who is a former Avatar. Kiyoshi was the Avatar before Roku.
Oh, alright.
And this is where Sokka learns to not be a sexist prick.
Really?
Because all the Kiyoshi warriors are women.
Yes!
They beat his ass.
Oh my god, yes.
And so he's like, I'm so sorry I disrespected you.
Okay. Do they teach him how to fight?
They teach him how to fight.
Yes! That's
Using their
amazing!
style they fight with like fans and shit.
I love it.
Like war fans. And Sokka it starts a
Wait,
relationship.
Huh?
Starts a relationship with Suki, who is the leader of the Kiyoshi Warriors. Suki is bae.
Aww. Wait, okay, so I have a question. What was my question? So they were just at the Air Nomad. Where did they go? Like,
They're in the southern hemisphere. They're heading north to the Northern Water Tribe to learn airbending. Because the way the Avatar has to learn bending is in the cycle. So it goes air, water, fire. No, water, earth, fire.
No, that's fine, but I'm trying to figure out the travel plan. Did the Air Nomads not have like a kingdom? Because they went from water to air really quick. Now.
Yeah. No, they had temples all across the world.
Oh, okay. So.
Yeah.
So I guess they're still kind of in the water area, basically.
Yeah, they're in the southern part of the world.
Okay. All right. Keep going.
So Avatar Kiyoshi Island, yeah, named after her. Zuko arrives, attacks the village. And, you know, they're like, we gotta leave the village to draw Zuko away. And, you know, they do, and Zuko goes to continue the chase.
Right. I imagine he's gonna be chasing them for a while.
Entire first season. So after that, they go to the kingdom of Omashu, which is an Earth Nation kingdom. Aang disguises himself as an old man.
Okay.
And they do some activities.
A 12-year-old pretending to be an old person.
By the king of Omashu.
Okay.
The king is like, you're the fucking Avatar. I'm 90 plus years old.
Okay.
I know a thing or two. And so he's like, being that you're the Avatar, I need to go test you. And so he puts these rocks as an earthbender on Katara and Sokka, and the rocks will basically engulf their entire body and suffocate them.
Okay.
And so he's like, you need to do these tests. And so he does these tests, and all the tests are designed to basically to teach him to think outside of the box.
All right. Well, okay.
And so the final test is like, the final test is like, who will you face? And he shows off some like brooding warriors with like swords and shit, and him, a feeble old 90-year-old man. And he's like, I can face anyone I'm looking at. And boom, and the king is like, yeah. And then he's like, I face you. And the king goes, wrong answer, bitch. Pulls off his robes and he's fucking wrecked.
Wait, what's
He's ripped.
What's his name?
I'm gonna get to that.
I thought you just kind of said it.
I kind of blurbed it, but you're not supposed to hear it.
Okay,
So it's good
all right,
thing you didn't hear
okay,
it.
all right.
So, like, they have this fight,
So he's
and
the king.
he beats him. He's
Okay.
an earthbender, and he's teaching him how to, to fight earthbenders and stuff like that. He goes, okay, I will free your friends if you tell me one last question. Answer one last question. He goes, no, just fucking tell me. Free them, or they're gonna die. And he's like, no, I'm 90 years old. I'm your grandpa. Fuck off.
Of course.
And he goes, okay, fine. What's your question? He goes, what's my name? And Aang's like, what? What's my name? And he's like,
Did he
just
say,
like,
did
like
he
that
say it
inter-
before and he wasn't paying attention?
No, he
This is
didn't
like
say
a
it
fucking-
before, and he looks
okay.
at them, and he thinks about all the lessons that he learned. He's like, oh my god, you're my friend from 100 years ago.
What?
You're Boomy.
What?
The king of Omashu is King Boomy, Aang's friend from 100 years ago.
Wait,
He was a mad genius.
wait. Excuse me, Missy.
Yeah.
That means he can't be 90. Why are you telling me he's a 90-year-old man?
Oh, fuck off. Whatever age he is, he's still alive. And so they have this tender moment, and Aang hugs him, and he's like, I can't believe you're alive. And he goes, don't worry, Aang. I'm crazy.
Well, he's over 100 years old. I'd be crazy too.
And he's like, what, are you gonna free my friends? And he's like, don't worry, I put him in rock candy, and he eats the candy. Okay.
Oh my god.
And so they have this moment where they hang out a little bit before they keep going
Aww.
on. He's like, don't worry, you'll be back. And he just, like, they hug it out. So then after Omashu, Katara finds an earthbender named Haru, who's practicing earthbender, and they're like, hey, you're an earthbender? And all the fire, and they're like, nah, I ain't an earthbender, motherfucker. Turns out the Fire Nation is, like, turned all the earthbenders to this little place, like a little prison camp.
What?
Like really like a concentration camp where there's no murder, but Yeah. And so Haru, the guy who's practicing earthbending, she's like, you shouldn't be afraid of it. Fire Nation's like, I smell earthbending. Concentration camp you go. Yeah, it's really fucked. And so they rescue this old man who gets caved in a mine. And Katara's like, you just use your earthbending. He won't narc. And the old man totally narcs. And
Oh
he's like,
my god!
and so they get sent to this prison, this oil rig. And the villain is voiced by George Takei.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. And he's like, you think you're gonna...
Wait, does that mean he talks like this?
Yeah, totally.
I'm not trying to make fun of George Takei, but you know
No, he has a very deliberate way
he's
of
a very, it's like Christopher Walken, like they talk slow.
Yeah. My name is George Takei. It's okay to be gay.
Takei.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. He has a very deliberate enunciation of his voice.
It's not very imposing, so trying to imagine him as a prison warden is very difficult.
No, he's kind of a good dick in this, yeah.
Really? Alright.
Yeah, so Haru's dad is there, and then like all the earthbenders have lost spirit, and Katara's like, she fakes being an earthbender to get captured.
How?
They put a piece of rock in front of like a bench.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have like asked that because I'm just extending time, but I'm like, really? How do you
Puts a piece of rock in front of an air vent, and Aang just like blows the rock up, and then they have like a fake fight, and they're Fire Nation soldiers, and then like Sokka and her are having a fake fight, and the Fire Nations are so stupid they think like that lemur's earthbending, and Sokka's like, no, you idiots, it's the girl, and they're like, oh shit, it's the girl.
That's
and
great.
yeah, exactly. And so they get imprisoned, and Haru and his dad is there, and then she tries to give an impassioned speech, and And the fire and the earthbenders are just not fighting. You know, she provides them with coal because they're on an oil rig that's made of metal, and earthbenders can't bend metal. Or can they? Future thing, maybe?
Wait, they can bend more than the element we're hearing?
So real talk,
Okay.
it's really cool because Avatar does a really good job of like building structure around the world.
Okay.
So like when you think firebenders, what can they bend?
Fire.
Also lightning.
I think we need to nerf firebenders. They get
No,
magical
you think that's
meteors.
better. What can earthbenders bend?
I'm guessing earth and metal since you're kind of hinting that.
What can waterbenders bend?
I can think of one other liquid, and I don't think that's correct.
Is it semen? What is it?
Now I'm just grossed out because I guess there are two liquids now, but I'm happy it's not that one.
Yeah, what is it? Say it.
I don't
Say
want to
it.
sound dumb.
No, say it.
No, I just...
Come on, say it.
Is it blood?
Yep.
Oh, gross.
Under the full moon, a powerful waterbender can literally blood bend and control people's movements.
Jesus
fucked.
Christ.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
So I vote to be a waterbender. I would love to puppet people
Okay,
during full moon.
we'll get to it later, but waterbenders are kind of OP. They can literally draw the water out of people and trees and shit. Yeah, it's fucked.
That's terrifying.
It takes a really special evil to fucking figure that one out, and we're gonna get to that, but yeah.
Oh, good. So glad. I'm so glad we're exploring blood That's why, because you said it was like magic, so maybe it was like blood magic.
You know, if anybody gets fucked, it's the airbenders, but they can fly and they can choke people out, so like they don't need a secondary skill, the other ones do.
Oh, they don't get like... Oh, you know, I guess lightning's covered by firebenders,
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah, no, it's and Avatar does this great job of being like, here's season 1, we kind of laid out the rules. Oh yeah, you see those rules? Adding to them.
We're bending them a little.
Yeah. So yeah, like because of that, nobody at this point knows about, you know, like metal bending. So they're stuck on an oil rig, and they you know, Katara frees a bunch of coal there, and like, you know, the Fire Nation is like, haha, pathetic earthbenders ain't gonna do shit. And so, like, the young earthbender is like, grabs some of that rock and throws it at his fucking head and be like, nah, fuck you, dog. And then, you know, the firebender's like, really? Burn them. And all the earthbenders like, you know what? We've been basically slaves for a long time.
He said to burn
Fuck
all
you.
of the people?
Yeah. The Fire Nation
I mean, yeah, at that point you fight back. What is there?
Yeah. They're fucked. They're fucked. They are completely like, they're like, everything we do is justified because we're bringing the goal. We're bringing prosperity and our knowledge to the world. It's like, you're lighting people on fire. Like, that's not even a metaphor. You literally lit that dude on fire. You lit that girl on fire. You lit their children on fire. And they're like, yeah, you know, you break a few eggs to make an omelet.
God.
It's fucked. And so they eventually, you know, Katara helps, you know, get them all back into fighting shape, and they go back and help fight for the Earth Kingdom. And so then, you know, after that, we deal with the winter solstice, and we find out more about the Avatar's responsibility. A spirit is attacking the nearby town, and the Avatar is the bridge between the real world and the spirit world. And so the Avatar goes into the spirit world, and so does Sokka, and, you know, the Avatar has to find a bunch of people who are lost in the spirit world. Turns out the Fire Nation burned a bunch of shit to the ground, and the spirits were mad about that, and the Avatar's like, I'm sorry, bear spirit of the forest. And the bear spirit's like, it hurts so much, you know, like my home.
Oh.
And then the Avatar's like, I'm gonna help find a way. You don't have to be mad. And he's like, all right, cool, thank you. And he's like, hey, by the way, can you just, you know, return all the people who were alive back to the living so they're not dead in the spirit world? And the bear spirit's like, yeah, I guess, okay, cool. And so after that, they you know, the group is just doing their thing, and they find some pirates who are selling a waterbending scroll, and they're like, how much? And it's like, 200 gold. He's like, I'll offer you 1 copper. You know how to haggle. And then they're like, get the fuck out of here. And Katara steals the waterbending scroll.
That's great.
And you're like, what? They stole it. They're pirates. They stole it from waterbenders. Fuck them. And so Zuko teams up with the waterbenders, and it's like,
The waterbenders? You mean the pirates?
the pirates, yes.
Oh, okay.
And they're like, we should find these people. And they go on this little rambunctious thing, and the pirates and the pirates are, you know, like kidnapping Katara, who gets mad at Aang for being so good at waterbending, and she's like, "Well, you're just so fucking special." And Aang cries, and it's just a sad time. So pirates are attacking, and you know Zuko's. You'd be like, I need the Avatar, and they're all like, all right, we'll help you find him.
Whoop-dee-doo.
And so Sokka, who is like always portrayed as this dumb idiot, is like, are you really gonna let him take the Avatar? I mean, think about how much money you can make auctioning off that to the Fire Nation. And the pirates are like, yeah, you know what? Fuck you. Keep the waterbending scroll. We'll take the Avatar. We're gonna raffle them off to your daddies. And Zuko's like, you don't want to do this, and they start fighting. And they all get the gang
whoop?
gets away. Yeah, they get away, and then they keep the waterbending scroll and just learn from it.
Pretty great.
And so then eventually they meet a guy named Jet and his freedom fighters, who was like, Fire Nation did bad things, so everything I do is justified. And they're gonna like,
I love where that's going.
they're gonna and Sokka's like, they're bad news, and no one wants to believe him. And it's like they're gonna drown an entire town full of Fire Nation and Earth Nation people. And
Nice.
and Katara and Aang are like, they wouldn't do that. You totally did do that. And they, you know, Sokka eventually got all the people and rescued them. And they're just like, fuck you, Jet, and freeze him to a tree. Because waterbenders also can control ice. They can turn water to ice.
They just like, damn, Waterbend's getting all of it.
Yeah. No, well, like, they all got their own strengths and weaknesses. Earthbenders are wicked. Airbenders are wicked. Firebenders are wicked. It's wild. So, after that, they go to the Great Divide. And this is like this Grand Canyon. And, you know, like, they have to deal with these two rival tribes, where like one are prim and prissy and one are like barbarians, and they hate each other for like 100 years of war. And Aang is just like, you know what? We get through this Great Divide, we deal with it. Your ancestors, they weren't actually at war. And they're like, they weren't? It's like, no, they were playing a sport. He's like, what? He's like, yeah, they were playing a game called Redemption. The redemption ritual. What? It's kind of like soccer. And they're like, are you serious? So Juwang was in prison for 20 long years? No, they weren't. They were in the penalty box. They were like for 2 minutes. And they just made peace after that. And then Katara and Sokka are like, wow, that's so wild that you knew that. He's like, or I didn't. They're like, what? I lied. And Sokka and Katara are like, no, you didn't. He's like, I totally fucking did. I was tired of this shit.
Oh my god.
I totally fucking lied. Hey, the result is that ends justify the means, right? They stop fucking being dickheads to one another. And they're like, shut up, you're naughty, girl. And they're like, girl, you naughty.
Well, that's quite a story on how to solve world peace.
You just lie.
Just lie about it.
So after that, we get to the 12th episode, which is like about the storm, and we find out about how Aang, who we never wanted to be the Avatar, we find out about Zuko's past, about how his dad and everything like that, and you know, like the Avatar, you know, like the way they were like, the Fire Nation's gearing for war. We should tell Aang he's the Avatar. He's like, no, he's not 16 yet. He's like, the Fire Nation is going to come and burn us to the fucking ground.
He mastered air before knowing he was the Avatar?
Yes. Yeah, he was really good at it. The Avatar generally has a good predilection to what they're doing. However, they struggle against the opposing element usually. So if you're like an airbender, you're going to struggle against earth. If you're a firebender, you're going to struggle against water. Waterbender, fire. Earth, air. That kind of thing. Because you're so rooted in your mindset that it's hard to think outside the box. Right?
Okay.
And that's not always 100%. I believe Korra actually struggled with air the most. Yeah. So anyway,
and what's supposed to be her opposite again?
She's a waterbender, so her opposite was fire? Never seen it, but...
Wouldn't fire struggle with water?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be like a...
And water would struggle with fire.
Oh, so it goes back and forth.
Yeah, back and forth.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, so like the storm is like a fisherman is like, oh, you're the Avatar? He's like, yep, sir. He's like, where the fuck were you for 100 years, motherfucker?
Oh.
And so him, the fisherman, and and Sokka get stuck in a storm. The Avatar saves them, and we find out a little bit of the Avatar about like how they find out about who the Avatar, how they are. It's like, you're the Avatar, Egg. He's like, how? And he's like, see these toys you played with? He's like, yeah, these were my favorite toys as a kid. He's like, these were 4 toys that the Avatar always picks. He's like, so like, probability wise. Could it be that I'm not the Avatar and that I just really like these toys?
No, because the Avatar state, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like, at that point, he didn't engage in the Avatar state.
Yes, he did.
No.
This is 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Right, okay, sorry. Right.
Because normally Avatars announce at like 16 or 18.
Right.
But the Air Nomad's like, the Fire Nation's getting kind of fucking warlike. And so we should probably train him to, fuck him up a little bit just in case. That didn't work out. He actually ran from his responsibilities and he feels so guilty about it. Yeah, and that's how he got stuck in a fucking storm. And when he was about to die drowning, him and Appa, the Avatar state took over and froze them in the ice for 100 years. So yeah, that's why Avatar Aang, like, he used a lot of his Avatar power keep himself alive for 100 years.
Right.
Which is why he only lived to be like 65. Yeah, where most avatars will live unless they die. It'll be like 100 at least. He lived a very short life avatar-wise. It does, but you know what? He lived a very fulfilling life and he saved the world. Spoiler alert. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I'm already imagining this as a happy ending because it was a Nick show.
It really does.
Like,
yeah.
That's...
So yeah, so like we like I told you the background of Zuko about speaking out, that was in this episode and stuff like that. Avatar Aang, saves Sokka and the fisherman, and he's like, I gotta be better at this, right? And then so next episode we see the introduction of the Blue Spirit, which is great, right? So Katara and Sokka are sick as fuck. And they're dying.
Oh, good.
So Aang...
Is it the plague?
Not a plague, but it's a very big illness. Right? At the beginning of the episode, it opens up with a messenger hawk approaching a Fire Nation fortress. And, right, Captain Zhao is speaking to the base of the fort, the captain of the general. He's like, your archers are so good. They're so good. The Yuan archers are like, they could pin a fly with an arrow 100 yards away. Like, they're the bee's knees. Oh. They're the wasp bee's knees. We're gonna control 2 things.
Are we still in season 1?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm trying.
I know.
It's long. It's 60 episodes.
Oh, I know.
So like the colonel at this base is like, they're my archers. I'll do what I want. And then so a hawk comes in, a messenger hawk. He's like, what's the hawk say? He's like, well, Captain Zhao, you've been promoted to Admiral Zhao, so you're my boss now. And he's like, well, then them archers are mine, motherfucker! We're gonna catch the Avatar! Meanwhile, the Avatar is trying to find a healer, do that healer
for
thing.
sick friends.
And the healer is like, you just gotta get some frozen toad frogs from the nearby swamp.
Huh?
And put them in your friend's mouth. And so he goes to catch these frogs, and the archers catch him, and Admiral Zhao is like, guess what, motherfucker? I caught the Avatar. God. He's like, why don't you kill me? Because if I kill you, you're just gonna reincarnate into the water cycle, and we can't have that problem again. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna keep you chained up here where you can't do shit.
Yeah.
And keep you fed and alive for whatever, and the Fire Nation gonna win this war, and then you can't do shit.
Well,
and Aang is just like, oh yeah? Blows air on him and knocks him into a metal door, and he's like, fuck you. And Zhao's like,
stupid air bending.
He's like, stupid air bending, but fuck you. I get to walk out here and eat some food. And Aang is like, I'm a vegetarian. Give me some noms, please. He's like, I'm gonna eat some turtle duck. He's like, no, don't feed me turtle duck. You're a dickhead. And Admiral Zhao was like, snap, snap, motherfucker, I know I'm a dickhead, but you know what I am?
Okay, wait,
I'm
I
also
thought...
an admiral.
Hold on. He blew Admiral Zhang into a pole. He didn't escape during
into
it?
a wall.
Whatever, he didn't escape during it?
No, he was chained up.
Oh, okay.
they
I'm sitting
chained
there
him
wondering
up.
what the heck is going on.
They
Okay,
chained him up with metal.
Right, okay.
So meanwhile, right? He's in this base. Friends are dying and sick. Who comes to his aid? The Blue Spirit.
Woo!
So they're like this fucking ninja with a blue Oni mask. And they're sneaking through the base and everything like that. And they beat up a bunch of firebenders and they take the fucking...
Is this Zuko?
You're good. Yes! Actually, you got
Holy
it!
shit! No, because I'm sitting here, I'm like, we have to know who this character is.
He can't let Zhao capture the Avatar or else he's fucked.
That's what I was thinking, because I'm like...
So it gets better, so they escape.
Okay.
They're escaping on stuff like that, and like they're cornered, right? They're cornered, the gates are closed.
Okay.
And what does the Blue Spirit do? Puts his blades to the Avatar's neck, and Admiral Zhao just puts his fingers through the bridge of his nose. He's like, let him go. Let him go. And so the Zuko, and as the Blue Spirit just backs up, and they're walking.
Because my other guess, I was like...
He doesn't want to let the Avatar die because he can't...
Right, but my other guess was Jet, but it can't be Jet, right? Because...
No, Jet, fuck Jet. Jet doesn't see until season 2. We're good. No more theories about Jet. Jet
okay. That's why I was like, well, Jet kind of sucks, so probably wasn't
so
Jet.
The Blue Spirit comes in and frees him.
Okay.
And then the archers attack like 100 yards away, and they're like, get him! And Aang sees the Blue Spirit hit in the face with this arrow.
Uh-huh.
And he sees Zuko's face, and he rescues him.
Oh, so he sees it's Zuko.
He sees it's Zuko. And he rescues him, and Zuko wakes up in a bed of leaves. Aang made a fucking bed for this bitch.
Aww.
He goes, 100 years ago, I had a friend named Kuzan who was Fire Nation. We got into so much trouble. He looks at Zuko and he goes, if it weren't for this war, do you think we could be friends? And Zuko looks at him and shoots fire at him. And runs away, and Zuko just kind of like sighs, and then goes back to the temple and he's just like, here, eat this, and he gets more frogs and he just puts frozen frogs in their mouth.
Aw, gross.
But they get better and they're like, oh my god, I got frogs in my mouth. And Aang's like, I'm going to bed, I had a night. Like,
I've had a time.
I had a fucking time, friend. Back to the Blue Spirit, they encounter this fortune teller in another town. Who,
Okay.
like, everybody in the town is like, oh, the fortune teller tells us everything is fine. And then, Sokka's like, this is fucking bullshit. And everybody's falling for it, including Aang and Katara. And a nearby volcano is about to go off. And they see it, and then, like, the fortune teller said the volcano wouldn't go off, so fuck it. And Sokka is like, it's gonna go off. And he's like, well, can your science explain why it rains? And Sokka gets like all like fucking Nicolas Cage in that emote where he's like his eyes are pucked out. He's
God.
Like, yes, it can.
You know what? I've seen that meme as well. The can your science prove, and they'll like change what it is. So wait, what's the actual one? Can your science prove what?
Can your science explains why it rains?
Oh.
And he's like, yes! Yes, it can!
So, I'm sorry, I was so distracted because when you started saying that, the meme. Why are they talking about science? What is wrong with this town?
Because they're so fucking enamored with this fortune teller telling them the future.
Oh, alright.
That they won't believe, like, hey, that volcano looks like it's gonna erupt. The volcano erupts, and they trick the town by changing the clouds that the fortune teller reads. And then the best part is, like, they save it. He's like, and Sokka's like, and I hope you all learned a valuable lesson. He goes, well, the fortune teller said the town would be saved, and you saved it, so technically they were right. And Sokka goes, we need to get out of here. They are so dumb. I'm done. And so after that, they encounter Bato of the Water Tribe, who is a friend of their dad's.
Okay.
Right? And the Earth Kingdom is like, hey, y'all got to meet up with this other group. And Aang is like, I'll give them the message. And Aang's afraid that they're going to betray, that they're going to leave to find their dad. And they're, and so they kind of do a childish thing and hold that information. And then they find out that they held it, and because Aang confesses, and they get mad, and they go separate ways, and Bato's like, no, you should go with the Avatar. And Sokka and Katara are like, yeah, we should. We'll see Dad later. I know we haven't seen him in like 3 years, but it'll be okay.
Wait, why was their dad away?
War.
Oh, okay.
All the warriors of the Southern Water Tribe, because all their waterbenders were taken from them, they went to fight with the Earth Kingdom against the Fire Nation.
Gotcha.
So meanwhile, at this time, Zuko and Iroh are fighting, or are meeting with this woman named June, who has a Shirshu, which is kind of like a giant badger mole thing that can detect sense, right? And so they're tracking Katara's medallion that her mother gave her, and she lost in the pirate episode. That's important, I guess. And her necklace, and then the Shirshu track it by scent. So they go, and the Shirshu, if it taps it with their tongue, they paralyze people.
Oh, yeah, that's gonna be fun.
And so, like, a whole bunch of people get paralyzed, and Aang puts a bunch of perfume in its face, so it overloads the senses, and it paralyzes a bunch of people. And, like, Zuko and Aang and June, who is, like, this beautiful woman who's portrayed by Jennifer Hale. That's her name, the woman who played Shepard.
Oh, Shepard! Yeah.
So, played by Jennifer Hale. God, she's gorgeous. Yum. Listen, there's a lot of women I'm gonna thirst after.
Her name is June?
Her name is June,
okay.
And she has the Shirshu. Right? And Iroh is like, June gets paralyzed by her Shirshu, and she falls on Iroh, and Iroh is like paralyzed. Zuko is paralyzed, and Zuko looks at him, and Iroh goes, Uncle, you weren't tapped by the Shirshu's tongue. And Uncle looks at him and just like puts his finger to his mouth and goes, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up, Zuko. Look at this broad who fell into my lap. I'm gonna enjoy the next hour of my fucking life. Shut the fuck up, you dumbass prince.
I've done so much for you, kid.
Basically. So then after that, Aang and the gang end up at a Fire Nation festival, and they encounter a deserter from the Fire Nation army who's like, I know a firebender who will teach you. And they're like, you gotta learn it in the proper order, dog. And they're like, yeah, but how many times am I gonna get a Fire Nation teacher who's not a complete dick shit? And they're like, that's fair. And his name is Zhang, and he's awesome.
Oh.
And, he's like, no, I can't teach you. Go learn waterbending and all that other shit. You can't learn from me. And then the spirit of Avatar Roku's like, teach the boy, motherfucker. And he's like, Avatar Roku. And he's like, listen, I've mastered it 1,000 times. I'm going to master it 1,000 times again.
Oh, no.
Fuck off. Teach the boy.
It's going to end badly, I'm guessing.
Right?
I have bad feelings.
We forgot about the solstice part. So at the winter solstice in the spirit world, right?
Okay, wait, why is there a winter solstice in the spirit world?
No, the episode.
Oh, with the bear, okay.
The bear. I forgot there was a part 2 to that.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm drunk. He gets an image of a comet, right?
Sozin's comet, right?
Yeah, Sozin's comet.
Oh,
and
but
so
they don't know. They don't know about that.
Yeah, he goes to the Fire Nation and he meets a cool Fire Nation dude who helps him, and the other Fire Nation sages.
In the spirit world?
No, in the real world.
Oh, okay.
He has to go and meet Roku, the statue of Roku in the Fire Nation.
Okay.
And so he does. They do some shenanigans. They meet him, and Roku's like, "Yo, what up, Avatar Aang?" And Avatar Aang is like, "Yo, what up, past life?" Okay. And so they have a talk, and he's like, "Yo, listen, real talk. You gotta defeat the Fire Lord before the summer. Like, I know you have to spend years to master the elements, but you gotta do it quick, motherfucker." It's like, why? It's like, because when Sozin Comet come, it going to supercharge like Super Mario style up in here. They're gonna get all like powered up and be like do 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 do.
An
fire
amazing
bend.
film.
What?
An amazing film.
Exactly. Yeah, so like, they have that moment, and so at this point they're like, we gotta defeat the Fire Lord before the summer, motherfucker. It's the winter. They have 6 months.
Right.
Meanwhile, it takes the Avatar like 12 years to master their powers.
Okay, so he learns about the comet in the first season.
Yes.
Whew.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So we just.
So now going back
to the deserter. Avatar Roku's like, I mastered it 1,000
Right, the
times
fire
before.
teacher.
I'm gonna master
Okay.
it again. Teach the boy. So they try and teach. Aang gets impatient. Aang is like, you know, he's like, look at the firebender I can do. He basically lights Katara on fire.
I shouldn't laugh.
He burns her. And Sokka's like, you fucking dick, what did you do? And he's like, I'm sorry, I'm never gonna firebend again. I'm so sorry.
Aww.
Yeah, and she's like, my hands are fucking burned. Jesus Christ. And it turns out waterbenders have a power where they can use water to heal people.
Oh my god, you mean plot benders?
Your plot benders. Plot benders are great. So anyway, so then Admiral Zhao is like there and be like, you know, trying to capture the deserter Zhang Zhang. And Zhang Zhang like do like firebender out and like smoke.
So he gives up on teaching him? That's it?
They like, you'll find another teacher, motherfucker. I gotta go. The Foundation's here. And so like, you know, Admiral Zhao was Zhang Zhang's protege, and he was a dick.
Oh,
and
of course
so
he was.
Zhang Zhang kept trying to teach Aang patience. Zhao didn't learn patience, right? So Zhao comes there with a whole fucking fleet of like ships down the river. And Aang just keeps dodging him and everything like that and taunting him because he's like, wow, Zhao never learned patience like Zhang Zhang kept trying to teach, right? And so, you know, like they're having a little fight. They're having a little fight, and Admiral Zhao is like, why did you stop fucking running away, motherfucker? And Aang goes, you lost this fight, motherfucker. Like, dude, you fucking lost. And Zhao's like, you didn't even throw a fucking punch, bitch. And Aang is like, look at all the ships. You didn't pay attention to what you were lighting on fire, motherfucker.
Oh no.
All your ships are gone.
Woof. Amazing.
That's lit, fam. And then he just bows out.
You mean he yeets out while we're lingoing?
And Zhao is like, fuck this kid.
Alright, so we're like an hour in at this point.
Yeah.
What do you do? How many seasons are left of this?
3. We're getting through it.
Well, you're just done with season 1 now, right?
We're almost done.
Okay, you need to narrow down to the more important things.
I am literally doing that.
I don't think you are. Like, as fun as the, like, rain people were, that wasn't that important.
Okay.
You see what I'm
we're
saying?
Getting there. Stop it.
I have valid concerns.
Listen, I'm not pulling a jack, okay?
Okay.
3, 2. Alright, so after the Deserter episode, they enter the Northern Air Temple. And they're like, there are airbenders here. And it's like, I saw them last week. And this old man is like, what? And the Aang is like, what? Turns out it's a bunch of people who are like in deal with this inventor, right?
Uh-huh.
Including this kid who's in a wheelchair who uses a glider to fly. They even had a character in a wheelchair. Talk
that's
about
so
this.
cool.
Yeah, right? And
Okay.
so they're at the Northern Air Temple, and Aang gives their kind of like their kudos, be like, you know what? You have the souls of airbenders. And Sokka makes a friend with a genius inventor, and the Fire Nation is like, where's our technology, motherfucker? Turns out the inventor, the machinist, was making weapons for the Fire Nation to leave them be. And Aang is like, fuck off!
Okay.
And then they're like, we're gonna take our technology or we're gonna kill y'all. And Aang is like, try it, motherfuckers! And they wage a little battle, and the Fire Nation has tanks, metal tanks, and they still win. They blow them all up, but it's sad because the air, they had a blimp that they did this with, and the Fire Nation is like, well, isn't this interesting technology? I wonder if this will be a plot device for season 3.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And then, so after that, they finally get to the Northern Water. They finally get to the Northern Water.
Wait, for the start of the next book, or?
Yeah, no, this is the end. The end of...
That's what I'm saying. We're starting in the northern part in the next book.
We're at the end of book 1. Book 1 is water.
Okay.
Book 2 is earth. Book 3 is fire.
Okay, so they get there.
So after that, they go to the Northern Water Tribe, and they're like, oh, cool, Northern Water Tribe. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, the Avatar, let's train you. And then, you know, so Aang is like, all right, so you're going to train me and my friend? And Master Paku's like, yeah, sure. And then they get to there, and meanwhile, Sokka's having a relationship with the princess of the Northern Water Tribe, Yue.
Aww.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought he got together with the other girl, Suki? Or is that later?
Just wait for it.
Oh, so it didn't happen yet.
Just wait for it. It's not happy. It's rough, buddy. It's rough. Anywho, so they go to the Master Paku. And he's like, here's my friend, Katara. And he's like, you didn't tell me your friend was a girl. He's like, that's a problem? He's like, yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you know what's up.
I already know what's up. Get the fud over it. Get over it.
Only women are allowed to learn the healing techniques, while the men are allowed to learn the cool ice and water bending techniques. And Katara's like, you know what? We're gonna learn at night. You just teach me that. No, and Master Paku is like, catches them, and he's like, you disrespected me. You disrespect my entire culture. Fuck you. And then Katara's like, you know what? I'm not gonna apologize to you. He's not gonna apologize to you. Fuck off. Because he's always like, did you learn your place, little girl? You learn your place? Yeah, he's such a dipshit. And so she's like, meet me outside. Catch me outside. I'm gonna fuck you up. And they have the cool, like, epic waterbending duel on, like, the live-action movie, which was garbage.
Yeah. So I did.
So he ends up winning.
See the side by side of that. It was not
he ends
good.
up winning because he has like 60 years experience. So
Okay.
you know, like experience counts or something. And he's like, "Where'd you get this medallion?" He's like, "That's mine. That's my medallion. That's my necklace. It's my mother's necklace." He goes, "No, it's not. I made this for a woman I fell in love with, Kana,
What?
60 years ago." And he's like, "You knew my gran?"
Oh my god, stop.
He's like, I made this for her. We were betrothed to be married. And Katara's like, she left your ass because you're a sexist pig. She fucking fled to the Southern Water Tribe because you're a bitch. Fuck you. And he's like, oh my god, I am a bitch. And so he teaches her.
Oh my
and he
god.
stops being sexist. And everybody in the North stops being sexist.
Yay, and there was much rejoicing.
Progress. Real talk, he also makes her another betrothal necklace and gets back to bed together with her gran.
Aww.
And Sokka's like, can I call you Grandpa? And he's like, no, you can call me Paku. He's like, can I call you Grandpaku? And he goes, no, call me Paku.
Oh, is Sokka the pun master?
Sokka, yes. 100%.
Amazing. I love it.
Listen, my favorite character is Zuko, but if I'm real, I'm Sokka.
Oh, you're Sokka?
100%, I'm a hybrid of Sokka and Zuko.
You would be the one not gifted with
Saku.
any magic, so yeah, I could believe it.
Oh god, the story of his sword master is great. We're getting to that.
Okay.
So after
Oh, wait, okay, so now are we done with book 1?
No, 2 more episodes. We're about to wrap it up though.
Okay.
Listen, it's a long series, just deal with it.
Okay, so was Lock and Key, and I condensed that shit.
You did not.
Yes, I did.
I'm drunk and you did not. Okay. So anyway, so the Fire Nation is like, you know what, we're gonna attack the Northern Water Tribe because the Avatar's there. So they see the soot in the nation, and they see the soot there. And, you know, the Avatar tries to handle all the ships, right? And at this point, Admiral Zhao has tried to kill Zuko by getting the pirates to blow up his ship.
Of course
and take
he did.
all of his members.
Of course.
And so Zuko is thought to be dead, right?
Oh.
Yeah. And Zuko and Iroh infiltrate Zhao's army.
Yes.
Right? And the Siege of the North, they come in there and they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to kill the Northern Water Tribe. And Iroh's like, don't fuck with them during the full moon, man. At night, they're stronger. And so they're like, all right, whatever. And so, you know, meanwhile, Zuko's trying to, like, find the Avatar, and the Water Tribe is, you know, protecting their land, and Princess Yue and then Katara go to the northern tip of the poles.
Wait, the princess goes with them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Why?
they're like they're trying to go to like this place where the spirit energy is full because they want to talk to the moon spirit.
Okay.
To grant them the power to help the Water Nation. And meanwhile, like, Zuko's like, what up? I snuck and infiltrated your place. And him and Katara fight during the night, and she whoops his ass, and he's like, the little peasant found a master, huh? And she's like, ice magic! And she freezes him, And later sun rises, and the sun rises, and the firebenders get stronger. Because waterbenders go with the moon, because the first waterbender was the moon.
Oh.
Pulling the tides.
Aw.
Tides are important.
Okay.
They help clean your shirt.
It's true. The
Tides
tides
stay.
are important. We do need tides.
And Zuko's like, and you get better with the moon, but I rise with the sun, motherfucker. And he captures Aang, and they kidnaps him while he's in the spirit world. And in the spirit world, Aang is trying to find the name of the moon spirit. That's what it. And he goes with he encounters Roku, and Roku's like, you got to deal with Ko, the face stealer. And Aang is like, what does Ko do? And Roku's like, slap. He steals faces, motherfucker. Don't show him any emotion. And so he goes there, and Ko, the face stealer, is like, your past life tried to kill me.
That sucks,
and
dog.
Aang is like, I didn't though. And Ko's like, you're right, I didn't. And he's like, oh, he keeps trying to scare him to get him to see emotions. And,
right.
Because if you show Ko emotions, he can steal your face.
Okay.
And then your human body has no face.
He keeps trying to jump scare him like an indie horror game.
And Aang is like, that's cool. Hey, what's the moon spirit's name? And he's like, like 400 years ago, you tried to kill me. He's like, that's cool. What's the moon spirit's name? He's like, and like I stole your love of your life's face. Here's the face. Also, here's a baboon monkey. Hey, here's another scary thing. Nothing? Really? Here's the moon spirit's name. You already know them. They're a koi fish in the fucking pond at the temple that you're at. And Aang is like, cool, thank you. Peace out, bitch. And he just walks out of the spirit world. And he wakes up, and Zuko's like, what up? And Aang's like, why am I in ropes? And he's like, because I captured you. And Zuko has this cool speech about how, like, they're stuck in a blizzard. He goes, my father always said my sister was born lucky, and I was lucky to be born. We have some little, and Ira was like, you're like a son to me. And
that's a cool saying.
Really is. Zuko's so great. And so, the gang comes and finds Avatar Aang, and they whop Zuko and knock him out. And Aang is like, we can't leave him here, he'll die. And Sokka's like, he has literally chased us from the southern continent to the north. Fuck him. And Aang is like, no, he's life. Life is all life is precious.
Aww.
So they save him, which is good because he's needed for the story.
Oh.
Yeah. And so, they go to the moon, they go back to the spirit thing, and he's like, there's the moon spirit. And Admiral Zhao is there, and he's like, I'm gonna kill the moon! And Iroh is there, he's like, if you kill the moon, because Iroh has learned about the spirits of the point, if you kill the moon, I'm gonna kill you tenfold. And so Zhao is like, he's holding the fish in a bag, and he's like, I'm gonna do it. Well, fucking light this fish on fire.
Please don't kill the moon.
I'm gonna make some. It's not gonna be sushi because it's gonna be cooked, but I'm gonna cook this motherfucker.
Please
and
tell me
Iroh's like, I'm gonna do it. And so he kills the moon, and the moon just fucking dies. The moon dies, and it turns blood red, and all the waterbenders lose their waterbending. He's like, yeah, I'm Admiral Zhao, killer of the moon, bitch!
Okay.
And so Yue, who was literally a stillbirth, she died at birth, and the moon spirits granted her life. She has the moon in her, right?
Oh,
and
that's
she's
how
like, I gotta go,
dated the
Sokka. I'm
moon.
sorry, the moon is calling me. I have to save the world. He's like, don't go. I love you. Also, you're my first girlfriend, and this is gonna be pretty traumatic.
Aww.
And she's like, I'm sorry, and they kiss, and she fades away and turns into the moon. And the moon is back, and the waterbenders get back, and Avatar Aang is like, Avatar, stay, go, turn into a giant fish. And,
Wait, since when can he turn into things?
he basically turned all the water into him and became a giant fish
Oh, okay.
He became a fish mech. It was great.
Okay.
And Zhao was like, fuck, the moon's after me, fuck. And Zuko encounters him, and he's like, you tried to kill me. And he's like, well, you're a traitor to the Thai Nation. They fight. And then Aang and the moon spirit thing grabs him, and Zuko's like, grab my hand. And Zhao's like, death before dishonor. And he died. He fucking died.
Oh, really?
Crushed to death by the water.
Oof.
Drowned. In fact, I don't talk about this really much, but in Avatar, in Korra, he's in the afterlife in hell.
Amazing.
Because he sucks. And so that's the end of chapter 1. They go to the siege in the north, and then the waterbender's like, go find an earthbender, and then there we go. We're up to book 2 now. Okay, real talk, and keep this in, Deacon, please, for the love of God. You know, we talked about all that shit in an hour and a half. We literally did a better job than the live-action movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we're up to book 2, right? So we start off with General Fong of the Earth Nation, or the Earth Nations. You're like, we gotta find a way to trigger that Avatar state. And Aang's like, I guess you're right. We gotta like prevent more deaths. And so he tries to fucking start like, you know, pretend. They try and do a whole bunch of stuff to kill the trigger the Avatar state, right? And none of it works until he it almost looks like he kills Katara by making her disappear in like quicksand. Avatar state happens.
What?
Yeah. Avatar state happens. Aang just like straight
Wait,
up.
Who puts Katara in quicksand?
General Fong, one of the Earth Nation generals.
Oh, okay. Alright, continue.
You know, it was all a feint.
When did they get to the Earth Nation?
After this, they traveled to the Earth Nation.
Oh,
after the
okay.
Water Nation.
Okay.
Listen, you wanted to speed things up.
I did, it's just, apparently, like, I missed a sentence there.
You did.
I had a thought
Crucial
and I missed a
sentence
crucial
time.
sentence. Okay, so we're in the Earth Kingdom.
So General Fong is like...
And they're trying to trigger the Avatar state. Okay.
Because, like, the Avatar state, Aang went into a giant fish water
Right,
wreck
right.
and killed the entire fucking Earth. The Fire Nation at the north just
Right.
their ships
It's
down.
incredibly powerful.
Right? And it's at this point where Aang learns from Roku, he's like, listen, if you die in the Avatar state, you die for real.
Nice.
That's it. Avatar's done. Can't die in that state. Right? And so, like, they try and trigger that. Meanwhile, you know, Zuko and Iroh have failed, and Azula has been tasked by Fire Lord Ozai, their dad. Azula is
That's the sister. Okay, yeah.
To bring Iroh and Zuko in as traitors. And she just does this whole thing and be like, hey, we're gonna bring you home. Fine, Dad's waylaid by betrayers, so he wants his family around. And Zuko's like,
tell me he doesn't buy that.
He buys that, and
No!
Iroh's like, I know my brother. My younger brother's a dickhead. That ain't legit.
Iroh's the older one?
Yeah. He was supposed to take over the throne for...
He stepped away because his
Fire Lord
son
Azula.
died, probably, right?
His son died, so Ozai tried to like get Azulon, their father, to, you know, be like, he has no heir. I should be Fire Lord.
Right.
And then Azulon was gonna. You find out this in future episodes. Azulon was like, "You damn! It's my firstborn. Fuck you! Now you have to kill your son to learn the loss." And Ozai was gonna do it, and Ursa, Zuko's mother, who loved Zuko more than Azula, was like, "You ain't killing my son, bitch. We'll kill your dad. Fuck it. I don't even care at this point."
That's great.
And so they kill her dad, and he becomes Fire Lord. He usurped Iroh, and Iroh was like, I don't care anymore. I just want to feel better after my son died. Sad.
It's very sad, yeah.
So anyway, so they're going on this ship. And they're like, set sail for home. And the captain of the ship would go, you heard the prisoner, the princess. Set sail for home so we can get these prisoners home. And Iroh and Zuko are like, wait, what? And so they escape after beating everyone down.
Love it.
Azula is way better than Zuko. Like, Zuko tries to fight her and she just whoops his ass. And Iroh just shuts it down.
That sucks.
Right? And then so after that, you know, like, the gang, you know, Zuko and Iroh are just basically trying to figure out what to do. They almost get captured by people a bunch of times, and then they eventually separate ways so Zuko can learn more about his own life.
Okay.
Right? You know, like, to try and be more unanimous, but meanwhile, like, the entire time Iroh is like stalking him, be like, he's my nephew, who's basically my son. I gotta make sure he's okay. So anyway, So now we're gonna focus more on the gang.
Yeah.
So they go to the Cave of Two Lovers, and they encounter these hippie nomads who are like bards and shit like that.
Okay.
And they're like, we're gonna go to Omashu to learn earthbending from King Boomy. And they're like, cool, you sound like you're going to Omashu. And it's like, yup.
Wait, I thought they were at Omashu.
They're going back. They went north. And so they try and go to Omashu, and the Fire Nation has blockades set up, and they go through this Cave of Two Lovers. And the Cave of Two Lovers is literally named after Oma and Shu.
Okay.
Who were these two earthbenders, and well, one was an earthbender and one was not. And Shu died, and Oma, I might be mixing them up, but she was the lover.
One died.
They traveled in caves. The caves were illuminated by crystals on the wall, and the badger moles that did earthbending, moved the caves around, but they could always find each other by the crystals. When one of them died due to this war centuries ago, the other was so mad that they stopped the war, and then they made a new city, and they named it after both of them, Omashu.
Right.
And so they go to the Cave of Secret, and this is where it's like secret
The
tunnel,
secret tunnel.
secret
Right.
tunnel. Can't remember words. Secret tunnel. And so the next episode is Return to Omashu, and like King Boomy has given up, and then they try and capture him. They try and rescue him, the gang, and they inadvertently kidnap a baby of the Fire Lord Governor. And
Wait, how do you inadvertently kidnap a baby?
Baby just was asking for it.
Okay.
You'll watch the series anyway. So the baby was asking to be kidnapped.
Oh, literally?
No, it's a baby. They can't talk.
You see why I'm confused? You're like, watch it. He was literally asking. You can't say literally. If
well,
you
when
don't.
a baby tries to chase a flying lemur off the roofs of Omashu and ends up in the fucking hands of the rebellion, you tell me they weren't asking for it.
I mean, I guess.
So they were, they try and have an exchange, be like King Booby for the baby, and Azula and her friends Mai and Ty Lee. Ty Lee's a circus performer who can block chi, and Mai is a goth girl who throws knives.
Okay.
And
so you're kind of gal.
Yeah, King Boomy's like, you can't rescue me. I'm gonna wait until the moment I should strike. But remember, your earthbending teacher should be someone who feels the earth.
So Boomy isn't gonna teach him?
Boomy isn't gonna teach him. Boomy's in like an iron casket, and he's just hovering among Omashu. And he's like, yep, I'm just gonna wait till the moment to strike. Neutral Jing. We're just gonna wait until there's no moment. There's positive Jing, negative Jing, and 137 other Jings. What? So, moving on, then they end up in a swamp that calls Avatar Aang to it. And the swamp shows them, like, mystery, like, your dead mother, your dead monks, and it's full of, like, New Orleans waterbenders who, like, waterbend the water in the vines, and they're like, I wouldn't eat my cool lizard duke. My lizard's my family. But I would eat your appa.
Okay.
That ain't family. And it looks tasty. Looks real tasty. And so after that, Aang gets a image in the swamp being like, hey, find the blind girl with the flying pig.
He has a vision.
Yeah.
Okay.
Avatar shit.
Right.
So after that, they go to another town that's celebrating Avatar Day, which is a celebrated holiday where they burn effigies of the Avatar because the Avatar, Kiyoshi, 200 years ago, killed Chin the Conqueror, who was, Chin the Great, even though he was like 4 feet tall and a dickhead.
Right.
And so Sokka puts on his Sherlock Holmes impersonation and figures out that Kiyoshi didn't do it. And so they're going to tar and feather Aang due to the Wheel of Punishment.
Oh.
and then Fire Nation people attack, and they're like, you have to save us, Avatar. And he's like, I'm sorry, I have to be tarred and feather. And then so they spin the wheel, and he's like, you have to do community service. Save us. And so they do.
Oh my God.
And so after that, we get to the Blind Bandit, which is going to introduce the Jen character, who is literally like Lemon from Starfinder. I can't.
Shut up, really?
She's never ever watched this, and she basically made Lemon. She basically made Toph. So the Blind Bandit, they go and they're trying to find an Earthbender, and they end up into like a WrestleMania underground earthbending thing where they fight.
Really?
And they're like, you have to fight, the boulder. And the boulder is the boulder will flex their muscles and earthbend to stop problems. And then, so the winner of the thing is the Blind Bandit. And he's like, the boulder feels conflicted about attacking a little girl. And the Blind Bandit is like this 12-year-old little girl who's blind. He's like, I'm conflicted about attacking a blind little girl. And the Blind Bandit goes, that's because you're afraid you'll lose. And then the boulder goes, and the boulder is no longer conflicted. It's like Macho Man Randy Savage. Great. And so this Blind Bandit is blind, but they can see through their earthbending. They see like via echolocation through the vibrations in the earth. So if someone like,
oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, if someone taps the ground, they see it a mile away, and they can just be like, okay, so they're putting their foot down here.
Right.
So then their other foot is logically going to go this way. So, rock up on that other foot and knock him out of the ring. And so, like,
amazing.
Anybody want to challenge the Blind Bandit? And Aang is like, I'll do it. Because he sees her. And he's like, this has got to be my earthbending teacher. This is what Boomy told me.
Right.
And so they have a little tiss. And she can't predict him because he's an airbender. So he's like flying around the fucking ring. And he knocks her out. And he's like, no, wait. I'm trying not to. I need you to teach me. And she's like, fuck off. Just cost me my fun. Turns out she's from a rich family called the Beifong family. And they don't realize she's so cool. And they think she's a delicate little flower. And eventually she and the Avatar get kidnapped because the wrestlers think that they've been, like, they conned them and they split the proceeds. And she fucking beats them all up and she's like, hold up. She just whacks them all and beats the shit out of like 9 earthbenders who were really powerful. And she eventually, the Avatar's like, she's got to train me. And the father's like, no, fuck you. And then she's like, she runs away from home and she's like, yeah, Dad said it was okay. I'm lying. And she goes to teach Aang. And then, we have an episode and then her parents are like hiring 2 bounty hunters, like the leader of the Wrestling Federation and her earthbending rotator. Like, the Avatar stole my daughter. I want her back, motherfucker. And they're like, that's a lot of money, sure. So anyway, we get to like a Zuko alone moment, Zuko alone episode. And this is like one of the best episodes art-wise.
Okay.
So he basically is traveling on his own, trying to learn stuff, and he encounters like a corrupt Earth Nation town where like the soldiers that stayed behind to guard the town are really corrupt and bullies.
Okay.
And he encounters a kid who idolizes them, and he tries to like nurture them, and the bullies eventually come back and they have a showdown. Zuko reveals that he is the prince of the Fire Nation and fire bending and everything like that, and defeats the nation. And all the Earth citizens are just like, I hate you, fuck off.
Because he's Fire Nation.
Yeah. Because the whole war is their fault.
Right.
And they're like, you're not even a prince. You're a banished outcast. Your father doesn't even want you. And he just continues his journey alone. So that's one of the best episodes, by the way, is Zuko alone, because you really see like his past with his mother, his sister,
right?
Yeah. All right, so then we get up to the chase where the gang can't fucking get a good night's sleep. Appa is shedding and leading them to like Azula, who is chasing them, and May, who is like a chi blocker. She can like punch you and block your pressure points.
Okay.
And then you can't bend anymore, and so they're just trying to like fucking dodge this bitch. They can't, so they split up. And Katara and Toph have a fight.
Oh, they butt
and then they get back together because Iroh meets Toph and then gives her wise advice, and then all all of them attack Azula, who's trying to attack Aang, including Zuko. And Azula shoots Iroh with lightning, and Iroh's like, "Oh fuck, that hurt."
Oh.
And then Katara's like, "I can heal him," and Zuko's like, "Leave us alone, motherfucker! I can't, my uncle." And there you go. And so because of that, like we have some moment where Zuko is learning from Iroh, and he's like, I need to learn more advanced firebending if I'm going to tackle Azula. And it's like, I know what you're going to say. She's my family, and we should get along. And Iroh's like, no, she's crazy. You need to take her down. So he shows him how to generate lightning, and Zuko can't do it because he's in inner turmoil. He's like, I'm always worried about this. Until you can obtain inner peace, you can't do this technique. But
hold up. Now, did you say the lightning was used on him? By Azula? Did I hear that correctly? What inner peace does she have? Are you kidding me right now?
The peace of being a fucking complete bitch. She's like so...
That's what I'm saying. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, every time he tries to do it, he blows himself up. Like, it backfires in his face. Because he has a lot of mixed feelings. Right. So Iroh's like, you know what? I'm going to teach you a technique even Azula doesn't know. And he teaches him how to redirect lightning. He can't learn lightning, but he can redirect it. Okay. And Zuko is like, alright, so shoot lightning at me. He's like, I'm not gonna fucking crazy, I'm not gonna do that. And so Zuko goes on a mountaintop and he's like, fine, I'll find my own lightning. And he's screaming at the heavens. He's like, you always told me I was nothing, but here I am standing. Give me your all. And he keeps trying to like get like nature and the gods to fucking shoot lightning at him so he could redirect it. He's talking to his father, who told him he was always
yeah.
Meanwhile, Aang is trying to learn earthbending,
okay.
and Toph is like trying to teach him, like blindfolding him and shit like that. Meanwhile, Sokka gets stuck in a crevice and trying to eat this moose thing.
What?
Yeah.
What?
He's trying to hunt this moose. He's like, too bad you're made
Sokka
of meat.
Had some like shitty adventures.
God, he has
Girlfriend's
a really big...
the moon. He's stuck in a crevice now.
Yeah, he's stuck in a crevice. It's not my fault. You're made of delicious meat. I have to hunt you. He gets stuck in there, and he has some real like learning lessons. And Toph is bullying Aang because Aang can't get it because he's airbenders. They go with the free flow, while earthbenders are stubborn and stand their ground. Right? That's how you punch Earth. And so eventually he learns to earthbend and they free Sokka. Sokka has this moment and then Aang is like, hey look, I learned to earthbend. And then everybody's like, ooh, cool. And Sokka's like, fuck.
So no one cares that he hunted, basically.
No one cares that he got stuck and had an epiphany. So after that, they go to the library. So they go into the desert and they meet this college professor from Ba Sing Se University, Professor Zay,
okay,
who's actually voiced by Raphael Sbarge. Kanan.
Jar.
No. Mass Effect 1.
There's no. You mean
the
Kane?
guy that no one ever keeps alive.
Oh, Ashley and
Kaden.
Kaden with a D. With a D.
He's voiced by Kaden. Yeah. Raphael Sbarge.
Okay.
So like, hey, we're gonna go find this library, and this library is like a spirit, the knowledge spirits library. What's her? Wan Shi Tong.
Is this where all the cactus memes come from?
Yes.
Okay, because those
are you ready?
Yes, because I don't. I asked
it's
you
after the episode.
There was a comic.
It's after this one.
There was a comic about. That remember I showed you, and you were like, "You will understand." So I'm ready to understand.
You're ready to understand. So they go in the they go to try and find the library, and they find like a pillar in the sand, and like a fox grabbing a scroll and climbing up the tower, bringing in the library is underground. Okay. And so Toph keeps it afloat and stuff like that because she doesn't feel comfortable leaving the sand, and so does Appa. So the professor and the gang goes in there, and they meet Wan Shitong, who is the spirit of the library, who is like literally like, what's the clerk of a library called? They're a librarian. They're a librarian.
Yes,
I just figured it out. Wan Shitong is a librarian.
I'm glad you were able to figure it out.
You want to know what they are?
What?
Guess what animal they are? Because all the spirits are basically based on
Well,
animals.
didn't you mention an owl? Like, not even...
They're a fucking owl, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. They're like, humans aren't allowed because they're dickheads. And they're like, well, I'm the Avatar. The Avatar vouched for me, according to Sokka. And the Avatar goes, yeah, I vouched for him. He's cool. And they're like, all right. Last time somebody fucked up my shit. Humans only come here to look for answers to get the edge on other humans. So if you can give me, if the Avatar backs you, and you give me an offering, we'll do it. And so Professor Zay gives him a book.
Okay.
Katara gives them the waterbending scroll that they got.
Okay.
Aang gives them. I forget what Aang gives them.
Is it something Airbender related?
Aang.
Is it important?
It's gonna bother me if I don't remember, because Sokka's is stupid. And Wan Shitong actually. Oh yeah, Aang offers a wanted poster of his from the Fire Nation. That was it. And then Sokka offers him a specially tied knot. And the Wan Shitong looks at him and goes, "You're not very bright, are you?" And Sokka, he goes there, and Sokka's like, "I'm brighter than you, motherfucker. I've fooled you." And so they go in there, and they find out that the Fire Nation has been here. But that's how fucking stupid Captain Admiral Zhao Face figured out about the water spirit, or the moon spirit. He had found this library before, and then burned all of the information about the Fire Nation. Which is why Wan Shitong doesn't like humans. Because he burned his
douche.
So, Aang and the gang, they find out about a solar eclipse, right? Before Sozin's comet. And this is really cool because when they're being forced to eject the library, when the spirit finds them and is like, you see, you thought you tricked me, but you didn't, and then they're going to attack the gang, right? And so, like, they find out about the solar eclipse, aka the day of Black Sun.
Okay.
It's a day where firebenders lose their firebending. During a solar eclipse, without the sun, firebenders lose their firebending.
So they have a meteor that makes them super.
They try and flee, and the spirit is sinking the temple, the library into the sands. And Aang and Sokka are like, we have to go back. We have to find out when the solar eclipse is going. And he's like, you can't figure it out. And Sokka goes, yes, we can. We only need to figure out now between Sozin's comet, because after Sozin's comet, this isn't going to matter.
Okay.
Sokka is so smart.
Right. So how do they find it out, though? Is there
they have a giant planetarium, so they can literally check the mechanism to see, and they find out in a couple of months the solar eclipse is going to happen.
Okay.
And they escape, but in the escape,
wait, why do they have to escape?
Because the spirit is mad that they tried to find knowledge for war.
Oh.
Like the Fire Nation did.
Like the Fire Nation.
Yeah, so they sink the temple. Toph tries to prevent the temple from stinking, because it's Earth, so they hold it up. Meanwhile, Sandbenders, which are a form of Earthbenders, come and kidnap Appa. Sell them.
Sandbenders?
Yeah.
Oh, so they can also move sand.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
Sandbenders are a type of Earthbender, yes.
Well, yes.
Because later on, Toph actually learns sandbending and does a sandcastle.
Aww.
Anyway, so after that, the Sandbenders stole them, and Aang has a fucking conniption because Appa goes missing, and they have to travel through the desert. And they're like, we're dying of thirst. And, did you just feed us your bending water, Katara? And she's like, yeah. And it's like, you used that on the swamp monsters. That's swamp water. And so they see a cactus, and fucking Sokka just cuts it open with his boomerang and drinks the juice and starts fucking tripping balls. He's like, cactus juice, it'll quench you. The sun starts looking back. And eventually, they find a giant mountain in the desert. And he sobers up. And he sees this shit on the wall and he just eats it. And she's like, you've been tripping on cactus juice for like 8 hours.
Oh my god.
Are you for real right now? He's like, I'm hungry. So they meet the sandbenders, and as they're encountering the buzzard wasps, they're vultures with wasps.
Okay. Of course they are.
Yeah.
Of course they are.
Meanwhile, Iroh and Zuko are trying to find like a place to go, and they go into a bar, and Iroh spots someone at a pie show table, which is like a game.
Okay.
And they find out that he's also a member of the Order of the White Lotus.
What's that?
It's basically a group that believes that all 4 nations show relevance. That the Fire Nation's goal, like the world needs balance. They're like Avatar, but regular people. Like they believe that the world needs to have everything.
Okay.
And Iroh is a grandmaster.
Okay.
So they're like, we need help, and they're like, we'll get you to Ba Sing Se and all this jazz.
Right.
And they do, and then the bounty hunters come in and they're like, we may not have found Toph Bo Fong, but we found the Prince Zuko. The Order of the White Lotus member is like, I knew it! You're wanted criminals!
Oh. You
bounty hunters are trying to get the immense amount of money on their heads, right? And Zuko's like, you said they were gonna fucking help us. And Iroh's like, they are. And everyone in the bar starts fighting and they just sneak out. And so, they eventually encounter the sandbenders that stole Appa, and Aang just fucking loses his shit.
Not like
you tried to muzzle my bison?
I mean,
where is he?
Not like how Anakin loses it over the sand people, right?
Yo, straight up, it was close. He was straight up gonna kill those people.
That was like immediately my first thought when we were talking about sand people.
He was straight up gonna Anakin those younglings. It was bad. So then, he's really mopey about losing this bison because, when an avatar, and this is just for airbenders meet with a bison and they form a bond. Avatars have an animal companion. Aang had Appa. Roku had Fang, which was a dragon. Korra had a bear thing. I don't remember its name.
Korra the bear? That's
the Water Nation get bears. The Earthbenders get I don't know what the Earthbenders get, but the fucking Fire Nation got dragons.
Of course they did.
Shout out to Saucy Mailman. You know what's up. They love their dragons.
Are you saying Saucy is Fire Nation?
Yeah, but he'd be good Fire Nation like.
Wait, but now I need to know what the Earthbenders have, because I would picture them with bears, but I guess polar bears, so that makes sense.
Yeah, it's a polar bear. I don't know what the hell the Earthbender. You know what? I'm gonna Google it now.
Yeah, can we pull like Earthbender companion? Badger mole.
I guess a badger mole, yeah. Which they're blind.
Okay.
So, fire and wind get flying creatures.
Yeah, it's kind of some
OP shit,
yeah. But alright.
I'm Avatar Korra and I'm like, fuck you, at least I got muscles.
I think I'd be a waterbender.
Oh, you totally would. You would be a waterbender, hand to God. I would be a firebender.
Alright then.
Emotional and needy.
No, just you'd have a dragon and I'd have a bear. It just seems a little one-sided.
Just like her height difference.
Oh my god!
So anyway, so they get through the desert and they go through the Serpent's Pass, which is like.
Wait, are dragons still around?
All right, so we're gonna get to some context further on, so I don't have to talk about it later. All right?
You just tell me that it comes up. Does it come up later?
Yes.
All right, then I'll learn about it later.
All right, perfect. So, so they go to the Serpent's Pass, which is like the only way on their current route outside of a ferry to, the Earth Kingdom of Ba Sing Se. And Sokka meets Suki again, and he's overprotected because he feels bad about how Yue died to become the moon spirit. And they have to go. They have to.
Wait, so is this when they start dating?
Yes, and Suki is there.
So she's the Kiyoshi girl, right?
Yes.
That's amazing. I love it.
Love her. We're gonna watch Avatar after this.
Yes.
I've been meaning to show her this. Anywho, they have to travel to the Serpent's Pass, which is the dangerous route, or they can try to take a ferry. And everybody's like, "Sokka, you're an idiot." And he's like, "Ow." And so they go there, and Suki's like, "Hey, I know you." And he's like, "What?" He's like, "You bet you think you're pretty smart, right? Big tough warrior dude. You make a lot of sarcastic jokes." And he looks at her, and because he doesn't recognize her with the makeup, and he's like, "Do I know you?" And she's like, "Tell me, do you know me?" And she gives him a kiss, and he's like, "Suki!"
Why had she kissed him before?
Yeah, she kissed him at the end of the episode that they appear. So they go through the Serpent's Pass because they can't. They meet a family that has a pregnant mom. You know, like a pregnant woman. And, you know, the whole, like, we're going to name the child Hope thing kind of thing. They stop, they fight an Unagi, which is the giant sea serpent, and, you know, Toph almost drowns, and Suki saves her, and she's like, "Thank you, Sokka!" And she gives Suki a kiss, and Suki is like, "Actually, I'm Suki." And Toph just looks at her, even being blind, goes, "Oh. Well, I guess you can let me drown now from embarrassment."
Does she like Sokka?
She does. Toph's a thirsty girl. She also likes Zuko at some point, I think. But who wouldn't? All the men in this are great.
Well, isn't she like 12? 12-year-old girls tend to kind of be that way if they're very romantic leaning. They usually tend to have a lot of crushes around that age.
Eventually, you know, they help. Katara helps deliver the baby, and they're like, "We're gonna name the baby Hope."
Oh my God! Is there a fucking birthing? I mean, it can't be that bad as a kids show,
It is,
but
there's no screaming. They just like, you know, they're like going
over birthing scenes. I'm over them. We get it. The miracle of life.
So after that, the gang goes and encounters the city of Omashu, and then the Fire Nation is like, "We're gonna drill the hole into the wall." Omashu is covered by giant walls that the Earthbenders have built. And so they break this drill, and they're like, me, stupid little Azula and her friends. And they break the drill with some coordinated planning, and they fuck them up. And then they get to Omashu. And then they get into Omashu's, and it's, oh my God, it is a fucked up. They have a Gestapo.
Oh.
Yeah, they're called the Dai Li, and they're dickheads.
Okay.
And they brainwash people. They're introduced to this woman named Judy.
Okay.
And she's brainwashed to just keep them from ever asking questions. The king is a puppet master. Whole bunch of stuff. They try and get there. And then the leader of the Dai Li is like, "It'd be a shame if you never found your bison. It'd be a shame if you never found your father. It'd be a shame if you ever fucking questioned anything I do." And they're voiced by Clancy Brown, a.k.a. Lex Luthor.
Right.
Yeah. So,
of course.
Yeah. So then after that, we have the Tales of Ba Sing Se episode, which are just like a bunch of short stories where Toph and Katara have a makeup day and are made fun of by pretty women, and then they throw them in a river.
Good.
The tale of Iroh, who... Oh, God.
Is it about his son?
Sad trans noises.
Okay, so wait, are they all in Boston say at the same time?
Yes, Iroh and Zuko get to they go there with Jet from the first season.
Oh, there's
Jet.
Jet
Figures out that they're firebenders and loses his mind. And Iroh has a day. He basically sees a small boy crying and plays a song for him, but little soldier boy.
Stop, you're gonna make me cry. You know me. I'm a sympathetic crier.
He also gets mugged in an alley, and the mugger is threatening him at knife point, and he goes with that stance and beats up the mugger, and then he sits down and brews him some tea and tells him how to be a better mugger. And then builds him up. He's like, "You think I could be a masseuse?" And Iroh's like, "Of course you can. You can be anything you want." And then he goes to his son's grave. Lieutenant, he has some candle and the flowers, and I'm dead.
So sorry.
And then also at this point, they'd recorded the whole season, but Mako Imawatsu died, the voice actor. He had cancer. He was so good. And Aang makes a fucking zoo.
A zoo?
A zoo. He frees all the animals of a cramped zoo and gives them open space. I was so crying.
You need a minute?
Lucian! It's so sad! And Sako does haikus.
Huh?
And Zuko goes on a date, and it doesn't go well, but he does, but he's so stupid.
Wait, who's he going on a date with?
Some woman named Jin who
Oh.
kept visiting the tea shop. Iroh got his own tea shop.
Aww.
And Momo had a tale where they were chased by pygmy pumas who tried to eat them, and then they all got caught by a pet catcher, an animal control officer, and then Momo freed them, and the cats became friends with the Momo lemur, and then they found a paw print of Appa who's in Ba Sing Se.
So that's how they realized to go to Ba Sing Se, or
They're
no,
already in Ba
well, that's how they realized the Avatar's in Ba Sing Se.
And then we have a flashback about Appa who tried and he got captured by sandbenders and sold to a circus of firebenders who mistreated him and lit him on fire. And then he flew away and threw him into the sun because he's a good babe.
He's a good babe.
And
See,
then
all
when
right,
he's
all right,
almost
hold
about
up,
to
hold
fight
up.
Aang, the Dai Li take him and kidnap him.
Lady, I need you to like dial the tears back. Deep breaths.
It's hard. The Tales of Ba Sing Se just get the waterworks flowing. It's
How
like
how
water
close-
bending in my eyes.
How close were we to the end of book 2?
Almost there, actually.
Okay, so then we have book 3 and 4?
No, just 3.
Oh, so there's only 3 seasons.
They were gonna do a 4th, but the season
You
finale.
said there were 3 more when I said how many seasons after
I'm
this.
drunk. Shut the fuck up.
Okay,
So-
because I was getting really concerned because I'm like, we're almost at 2 hours. But if we go 2.5,
Appa
it's
gets
fine.
captured by the Dai Li and hung and hang and put in Lake Lagua. They
Alright,
encounter
stop.
Jet.
Leia. Dial back the tears. It's okay. It's okay. They
The
rescue
gang
him, right?
encounters Jet, who has been arrested by that Dai Li and brainwashed. They go to Lake Lyoge.
Wait, why was he brainwashed?
Because he thought Fire Nation and you can't talk about the war in Boston.
Oh, right. I forgot. Right.
So they go there, they fight the Dai Li, Jet possibly dies. It was really open-ended. They rescue the bison, he bites the leader of the Dai Li, and then they're like, you know what, we're on the roll, let's go talk to the Earth King. And so the next episode is the Earth King. They go, they fight all the Earth King guards, they meet the Earth King and his pet bear Bosco, not a turtle bear, not a platypus bear, just a fucking bear! And they go meet him, and he's like, well, what, you're the Avatar? And he's like, yep. So why should I believe you? And he's like, well, your Dai Li dude's a douchebag. And so they have a whole bunch of stuff, and they prove that the Dai Li is conspirating against the king to make him a puppet, and the king is like, you know what? This is a city of fools, and I'm the king fool. And then they get. Oh, I forgot. In the Appa's Lost Days, he encounters a guru in the northern, eastern, west, one of those air temples.
Okay.
He's a guru, and he gives him a message. He'd be like, "I've been waiting for the Avatar." And so when they capture the Dai Li person and everything, oh my God! In that episode, the Kiyoshi warriors find Appa, fix him up, and then Azula captures them and pretends to be the fucking Kiyoshi warriors to the Earth King, and it starts the crossroads of destiny.
Hey.
And then they go and Aang meets the guru, and they're gonna meet, and Sokka meets his dad. and Katara finds Zuko, and it's just getting crazy. It's Empire Strikes Back all over here.
Are they still in Ba Sing Se at this
Yes,
point?
it's a bunch of episodes, and I'm losing my shit.
Because now you're talking how Zuko and Katara met, so I'm like, uh-oh.
They've been in... She goes to the tea shop to get some tea, and then sees Zuko and Iroh. She's like, oh no, oh no.
Oh no.
And then Aang's learning about his chakras and not to fucking block him off, and he blocks him off. It's literally Empire Strikes fucking Back.
Okay.
He fucks up. He locks himself out of the Avatar state. Oh, big! Dai Li betrayed the Earth King. Azula and the Firebenders take it down. Aang dies.
What?
Zuko betrays Iroh.
Oh, wait, Aang dies?
Yeah, they have a big moment. Zuko is about to, like, he's happy. He ends up getting conflicted with an Iroh. He has to choose Fire Nation or Iroh, and he chooses Fire Nation. His duty, and him and Azula fight Avatar Aang and Katara, and they have this whole big and there's like fucking crystal armor and fire everywhere. And
wait, so Zuko and Azula together fight the Avatar?
Yeah. And,
okay. Gross.
Yeah. And what happened? Oh my God! At the end of season 1, Master Paku gave her spirit water. That's about to be relevant. Water from the spirit where the koi fish were, with the moon spirit and the sun.
In her bending bottle?
Bending bottle, sure, whatever.
Well, where she takes water out of, right?
No, it's a special bottle. There's a gourd and a bottle.
Okay.
This is the bottle.
Okay.
She does it from her gourd.
Okay.
This is like special super healing water.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Spirit water.
Okay.
So they're fighting underground. The Dai Li are there. Everybody, and Avatar Aang is like, I have to give up all earthly attachments. I can't. Like the last chakra is give up earthly attachments to be able to control the Avatar state at will. And he goes and he locks himself in, willing to give it up, and he ascends into the Avatar state. And you're gonna love this. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
So like, it's a sad moment, but you're gonna love this. You know how in every anime somebody does a transformation?
Mm-hmm.
And nobody ever just fucking punches them?
Okay.
So Aang is doing this. Everybody's staring at him. And you know what Azula does?
Punches him? Shoots
that bitch with lightning and kills him. He dies.
Oh.
Aang died.
Nice.
End of season 2. Empire straight up died. Azula, Katara freaks out, washes over them with like a wave of water, escapes with Aang, and she, the king of the Earth Kingdom, everybody escapes, and yada yada.
Does Ba Sing Se ruin?
Oh my God, yeah, Ba Sing Se is captured by the Fire Lord. I forgot, at this point also Toph had been captured by the bounty hunters that her parents hired, and they captured her in a metal cage, and he's like, you're a good earthbender, but even you can't bend metal. And she's like, oh yeah?
Watch me.
Motherfucker.
Wanna watch me, kid?
And she just starts hitting the metal, and she then senses the earth in the metal and develops earth metal bending. She's the first fucking bender to bend earth metal.
Love it.
She's fucking awesome. So yeah, she does that, and she heads back to Ba Sing Se. They had a whole thing, and when Katara is like grabbing Aang, Iroh actually is like, go now, save the Avatar. I'll hold them off as much as I can.
Wow.
And then Azula's like, you're a traitor. The Earth Kingdom, the Dai Li capture him, and he looks at Zuko, and he just turns his head in shame. He turns his head, and tears flow through his eyes. And while they're flying away up, Aang is dead.
Okay.
And she uses the water from the northern, the spirit oasis, and heals him. And there's this scar on his back from the lightning. And there's such a fucking powerful moment, right? When you really think about it. Aang always ran away from his destiny as the Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
His scar is on his back. Zuko always ran forward towards what he perceived to be his destiny. His scar is on his face. They're mirrored. They're yin and yang.
That's interesting. That's like
Isn't
really
it?
Cool. Yeah.
Someone picked that up on Twitter. I was like, mind blown. Now we're up to season 3. But there's a little graphic novel, not like a motion comic that was on the DVD that and it was on a website.
Okay.
Real talk, TLDR. Aang is in the spirit world. He died. His body needs to heal the Avatar spirit. So
Okay.
you find out this in Korra, that the Avatar cycle is literally a spirit from the spirit realm that bonded with humanity
Oh, okay.
to keep humanity and the spirit world in balance.
Makes sense.
That being was damaged from this because he was in the Avatar state when it happened. He technically died. So Aang does a little journey in motion comics on the DVD. I don't know if it's on the Blu-ray. I don't know if the website is still up. But they basically have to do this little journey that they don't even remember about all 4 elements.
Okay.
So they have to deal with Avatar Roku, Avatar Yun Chang, I believe her name is, Kiyoshi, and Karadu. I can't remember the waterbender.
That's okay.
But he goes on a journey in the spirit realm to basically refresh his body. Weeks later, he wakes up in a coma on a Fire Nation ship. The rebellion has failed. Sokka and the group and the gang are they've stowed away on a stolen warship from the Fire Nation.
And this is a week? In a week?
Weeks.
Weeks, plural. Okay.
Aang has full hair now. World believes he's dead. They have a little moment. Ozai congratulates Zuko. Aang is like, the world can't know I'm dead, right? And he runs away, and he's like, I have to do this on my own. And Avatar Roku is like, listen, he's injured and struggling to get in the sea. The Sokka, Katara, Toph, and everybody, like, they come and find him with Appa. And, you know, Roku has a message. He's like, listen, if I were more decisive in my life, you wouldn't even have these problems. I'm sorry. Real talk. It's your destiny will save the world and also simultaneously redeem my shit-ups, okay? Is that a phrase? Shit-ups? We're making it. So anyway, like, after that, you know, they're in the Fire Nation. They're living among the Fire Nation. Aang joins a school for the Fire Nation, and you find out, like, how repressed all these people are. Like, you can't talk back to your teachers. You know, like, you can't dance. There's no
Did you say Fire Nation?
Yeah, they're in the Fire Nation. They're waiting to the day of Black Sun to invade.
Right. So they're, what, blending in?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so they go to this, you know, Iroh's in a Fire Nation prison. Zuko is, you know, really conflicted. He's yelling at Iroh. And Iroh is basically, like, just training every time the guards aren't looking and, like, getting roided out.
Nice.
Like, he's this fat, chubby old man, and he gets, like, a fucking 8-pack and biceps. Yeah, like, he's, like, doing, like, shit, like, fucking pull-ups and shit in his prison cell. Right? And, you know, like, so they...
I can't believe he's in...
Yeah.
Horse crap. Go on.
And it gets better! So Sokka disguises himself as Mr. Wang Fire, has, like, a fake beard, and he's pretending to be Aang's dad. And Zuko and Mai are dating, you know, the goth girl, and they basically have a footloose moment, and they teach everybody in this town about, like, how the Fire Nation's, like, repressed, and how they're, you know, like, they're basically rewriting history.
You really quickly went over. So Zuko's dating the goth girl?
Yeah. And she's
the knife girl?
What?
The knife girl? Okay.
The knife goth girl. And he's like, is there anything you don't hate? And she's like, I don't hate you.
My God. Alright, so they're teaching this town who can't dance how to dance.
They're teaching them about expression. The dance is symbolic of expression.
Okay.
Right? And so they do that. And then there's the Painted Lady episode. So
this isn't the same as, like, the It Painted Lady, I'm hoping.
In a way, it kind of is, but
oh,
not.
Nice. Alright.
So there's this town that's being polluted by the river, like, by the factory in the nearby river.
Okay.
Like, their waters are polluted, the people are dying. And, like, they're supposed to travel on, and Katara takes the mantle of the Painted Lady, their town savior, which is, like, the spirit that protects the town, and they destroy the factory, and she pretends to be this ghost, and they turn on her after she gets rid of all the Fire Nation soldier, and Sokka's like, well, you're fucking idiots, okay? She did this for you. Fuck off and stop this nonsense. And they're like, you know what? Yeah, let's clean up the river. And they have an 80s montage about cleaning up the river. And then at the end, this Painted Lady, the ghost of the Painted Lady, the spirit, literally appears to Katara and thanks her.
Aww.
She came in and provided people with food, medicine, healing. It was great. So after that, like they have this moment where a meteor strikes the Earth, and all the benders, Toph, Katara, and Aang handle it, and Sokka is just feeling useless. He's like, you're all special, and I'm not.
No,
and they're like, you know what you need? You need a master. And they have a shopping day, and they find a master. And what is his name? He's so fucking cool.
Oh yeah.
He's a swords master named Tiandao.
Okay.
How you pronounce it?
We're asking the wrong person.
He is a bladesmith, swordsmaster, and a calligrapher. So Sokka teaches him, or he teaches Sokka how to be a great swordsman, and the rest of the group is like, I miss Sokka. They try and make jokes, and they try and do stuff, and they realize that Tiando is like this great person he's like, let me guess, you're the best warrior of your town. You came over here to be me. Sokka goes, no. Honestly, I don't know if there's anything special about me. All I know is I need to learn a lot. I don't know if I'm worthy.
Sokka's grown so much.
So Sokka, like,
he thought he was better than women. Now he'll think he's better than anybody.
Sokka mastered like all forms of martial arts.
Really?
Sort of like the Avatar, yeah. This is Fire
cool.
Nation swordplay. He mastered the Kiyoshi warrior. He mastered the water bending. He also mastered the Avatar, the Airbender's ingenuity with the machinist. Like, he's just all over the place. So Piandao is like, yeah, all right, let's do it. And so he teaches him how to, like, make his own sword, and how to do calligraphy and stuff like that. And they have this epic sword fight after. He's like, you have proven yourself worthy. And Sokka hands him back the sword. He goes, no, I haven't. I lied to you. I'm Water Tribe. I'm sorry. And then he's like, I'm sorry too. And he attacks him. And then they have a sword fight. And like he's like, excellent, using your agility against an older opponent. Using your environment. Like he's testing him. And at the end, he basically is blinded by sand and still manages to beat Sokka. Because he's a master swordsman.
Of course.
And he goes, the art of the way of the blade is not for one nation. I knew you were Water Tribe. By the way, your name Sokka gave it away. Try the name Lee. There's like 1 million Lees in the Fire Nation. Like, he's a member of the Order of the White Lotus. He gives Sokka a Pai Sho tile of a White Lotus Pai Sho tile. He is the master swordsman of the fucking world. It's awesome. So after that, they have an episode called The Beach, which is about Combustion Man trying to kill the Avatar at the behest of Prince Zuko, who believes Aang to be alive. They go to the beach, and they have like these inner reflective moments about like why Zuko is so angry all the time. He's like, I'm angry. I don't know why I'm so angry. He's angry because he betrayed himself.
Yeah, that inner reflection.
After that, we have the Avatar and the Fire Lord episode, which is literally all recap. So we're about to tell you. Avatar, Iroh tells Zuko to look into his past about his great-grandfather.
Okay.
And so Zuko does, trying to find out more information about Fire Lord Sozin. Roku talks to Aang about his relationship. Sozin and Roku were best friends.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
Before they realized Roku was the Avatar, they were best friends. He was Prince Sozin and his best friend Roku.
Okay.
Roku and Sozin, when Roku found out that he was the Avatar, Sozin gave him his crown. Like the Prince crown. And Roku wore it with honor.
Aww.
So he becomes a fully realized Avatar, gets married to this woman he loved when he was a teenager. And Sozin is like, let me tell you, like, we're experiencing a golden age. We should spread this shit. And so Roku's like, no. 4 nations supposed to be that. 4 different nations, all contributing different ideologies. And, like, they're both reading about this story, right?
Okay.
And so, Sozin, by the way, Roku actually trained along Gyatso. They were best friends.
Aang's teacher.
Yes.
Okay.
Roku and Gyatso were best friends, and when Roku died, Aang became the new Avatar. Gyatso trained him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, here's a fun, interesting tidbit, right?
Okay.
So Roku was trained by an Avatar Earthbender named Sud. S-U-D.
Sud, okay.
So in the opening, originally the Avatar, when it's like Master of Four Elements, they show a male Earthbender. Sud was supposed to be Aang's Earthbender, but midway through production, they thought we need to do something different. Fuck it, let's go for another avenue, and they made Toph, the blind girl. Which was way better. Originally, it was supposed to be just this generic, like, tough as nails male Earthbender.
Well, that's really cool.
Yeah. Anywho, right? So, like, he becomes a full-blown Earthbender, and, you know, Sozin basically goes against his wishes and is like, you know, fuck it, we're gonna do that thing we're doing. Right? And they colonize some of the Earth Nation. And so, and Roku's like, no! And he's like, bow before your Fire Lord. He's like, no, I'm the Avatar, bitch. Fuck off. Yeah, I saw what you did. Disperse. And he's like, if you're not with me, I'm gonna Ben Shapiro this and be like, I'm gonna talk like a little chipmunk and really fast, and you're gonna betray me. And you know, he tries to kill Roku, and Roku just bitch slaps him in the Avatar state. And he goes, listen, with my friendship, I'm gonna let you have a freebie here. I could kill you. I could. But I love you. Don't test me.
Okay, so...
So then years later, 20 years later, they haven't spoken, and a volcano erupts on Roku's island, and, like, they're trying to stop it, and then Sozin helps them, and then Sozin and him, you know, like, are trying to stop this volcano, and poisonous gases everywhere, and Roku, you know, moves forward and gets spritzed with some poison gas and is choking to death. And Roku's like, help me. And Sozin is like, you know, without you, my plans don't have opposition. And he leaves him to die.
Wow.
And Fang, Roku's dragon, curls up around Roku, who's dying, choking to death.
Yeah.
And they both die together.
Wait, that's how Roku died?
He died.
I was just about to
choking to death on poisonous gas, trying to save his home.
I was actually just literally about to ask you. I'm like, wait, so Roku wasn't that old when he died? How did he? And then you got to it.
He was like 60 something. As he exhaled his last breath, Avatar was immediately born to the air nomads.
Right.
And then Zuko finishes reading Sozin's testament about it, right? And he goes to Iroh and it's like, I knew all of that. And he goes, you knew about Sozin, you dummy, but you have two great-grandfathers. Your other great-grandfather was Avatar Roku. And Zuko's like, wait, what? He's like, yeah, your mom's side, dipshit. And he's like, holy fuck. So then after that, during the beach, Combustion Man, who has like this eye on his head, fake eye tattoo, just shooting explosions out of his brain, tries to kill the Avatar. They stop. And then they go to another episode, The Runaway, where Toph, the blind bandit, starts fucking stealing from people, being like, I'm just a poor blind girl. How is this game played? And just steals some shit. And then the Combustion Man comes again, and they try and do shit, and they beat him, and they run away. And after that, Katara and the group meet a creepy village where mysterious disappearances are happening. They meet an old innkeeper named Hama.
Mm-hmm.
She's a water tribe bender from the Southern Water Tribe. Okay, I'm about to tell you some fucked up shit.
Oh, okay.
They kept kidnapping waterbenders so they couldn't
fight
them.
I forgot to ask. So with the whole Roku flashback, is that just a random flashback brought up? Does Aang know this?
Yes, Aang is talking to Roku because he can talk to his past lives.
Okay, so Roku tells him this.
Yeah, it's like, it's about time you learn more.
Woof.
Yeah.
Alright, I'm sorry, continue. That's why I was like, wait, I forgot to ask.
Don't trust friends, they suck.
Oh.
So anyway, after that we get to the Puppet Master episode, which is fucked.
Oh, with blood magic?
Blood magic, yeah, you got it. How'd you guess? the teen avatars sitting around a campfire telling ghost stories, right? And they encounter this old woman named Hana, who it's like, come with me, I'm an innkeeper. They go, they figure out that Hana's from the water tribe, and she tells them about how she fucking, like, survived, and she trains Katara a little bit. Like, you can draw water from anything. Every living thing has water, so she, like, pulls water out of the trees and plants, and she teaches her blood bending. She's been kidnapping people to torture them.
Oh, that's exciting.
She has PTSD. She was captured by the
Oh.
Fire Nation. And they kept waterbenders in cages. And then if they were ever to be fed water, they had to shackle the waterbenders and then feed them from a cup.
I mean, yeah.
They didn't want them to fucking escape.
Right. No, that makes sense.
So she's like, you're gonna have to bloodbend to stop me. And then she bloodbends on Aang and Sokka and tries to kill Katara. Katara uses bloodbending to save them, and she starts cackling, and she's like, my work is done. You now know the ultimate waterbending technique. And Katara's like, fuck. And after that, it's like a couple of days before the invasion of the Black Sun, and Aang has got insomnia and won't sleep, and they're like, you gotta sleep, dog. And he's like, you're gonna all die. He's like,
this is fine.
and then he has like hallucinations of like Momo in a Ronin outfit fighting a samurai Appa.
Wait, so why is he hallucinating?
Because he stayed up for 4 days straight.
Oh, okay.
And then they make him a nice fluffy bed and he sleeps. And
Oh,
he has
I
a
want a
dream
nice
with
fluffy bed.
the Fire Lord. He's like Dragon Ball Z Goku style outfits and stuff like that. He's like, your time is done, Fire Lord. And the Fire Lord is like, no, your time is done. He goes, have you studied for your test? And Aang pulls out an abacus. I did. Did you?
What?
Did you remember to wear pants? And then he's like,
What is
no,
hap-
I didn't. You have bested me.
Happening.
Exactly. So then the day of Black Sun happens, the eclipse. So they have this, they go and attack the Fire Nation, and they go on waterbending ships. And then the waterbending ships are like, oh, look, we got some waterbending ships attacking the Fire Nation. The Fire Nation goes in and they're like, well, fuck these waterbenders. And they go on the ships and they're like, why aren't there any waterbenders and earthbenders? And oh my, it turns out the mechanists, along with Sokka, created fucking submarines.
Oh my god.
They use waterbending to move the submarines around, and they go up to breach and get some air. And Katara and Aang have a moment, and they kiss, and he's like, I love you. And she's like, oh my god, good golly me. And then they go and invade, and they have some moments, the submarines and the tanks and the
So
firebenders lose their power.
are we ramping up to this? Is this it?
This is not it.
Oh, okay.
This is the greatest failure.
No, don't tell me that.
So when Azula figured out about taking over Ba Sing Se, she figured out about the day of Black Sun invasion, and the Avatar loses.
No.
They hide the Fire Lord, and all their troops are captured. She buys time, and Zuko faces off against the Fire Lord, and and he's like, "You're such an asshole." Like, it's such a great lie. We're so great. We're spreading our greatness to the world. The people of the world fear and hate us.
Yeah.
And his dad is like, get out of my sight before I fucking kill you myself. And he's like, no, you're gonna listen to me, bitch. You challenged me to an Agni Kai at 15. He's like, it was to teach you respect. He's like, it was fucking cruel. You burned my face, you asshole. You literally lit me on fire. I'm your son.
Yeah, and then you banished me.
And then
what
you
was I gonna
banished me. Who does that?
What were you gonna
Uncle Iroh is more of a father than you ever were. And he's like, your uncle's a traitor. He's like, he's a good person. And he's like, you know what? You're a big, brave talker. You're a big, brave talker coming at me when my powers are shed. When did you come at me? When did you come at me with the...
Is his dad Alvin and the Chipmunks?
Yes. When did you come at me when the sun isn't black by the moon? How about that? And so he does, and he shoots lightning at Zuko, and Zuko uses the technique that Iroh tech and just shoots it right back at him. He's like, fuck you, Dad.
Yes.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. And he goes to try and rescue Iroh, but Iroh has already escaped from the prison because he got fucking shredded.
Love it.
And then, they all flee to all the youngins Team Avatar that, Katara and Sokka's dad, stays behind. They're all captured. They all end up heading to the Western Air Temple, and Zuko is like, all right, I have to teach the Avatar firebending. They are not gonna like me.
Oh. Wait, why does he come to that conclusion?
Because no one else will fucking teach him.
Right.
It's his destiny to help the Avatar, he's realized. So he goes and he's like, hi.
Man.
He's like, hi, Zuko here.
Oh no.
You might remember me from trying to
murder you?
And they don't buy it. And then he's like, well, if you won't accept me as an ally, will you take me as a prisoner? And they're like, fuck off. They just like water him up. And Toph is like, correct me if I'm wrong. We're trying to figure out a fucking firebender so you can learn all 4 elements to fucking take the Fire Lord down. So now that the invasion of Black Sun is done, and if one comes up on a silver platter and you won't fucking do anything about it. And they're like, you don't even know. He's fucking hunting us. So they have some mixed feelings, and the Combustion Man comes back, and Zuko's like, no, I'm sorry I hired you. I'll pay you double. Stop. And he's like, nah, you know what? I'm not going to say any words in any of the episodes, but I'm going to stare at the camera to show that I'm really invested in my job. And so, they have a moment. Zuko tries to stop him, doesn't succeed, and then Sokka throws his boomerang, hits that dude in the little fucking part where he shoots the explosions out of.
Yes.
And the dude is like, ow, my third eye, god damn it.
Did you mention where he gets the boomerang from? I know he has a boomerang.
He's always had it.
He's always had it?
It's a weapon of the Southern Water Tribe.
Oh, okay. Because,
he bops him with the boomerang, and this guy's like, ow, my fucking third eye. And I'm gonna shoot you with my thing. And he tries to shoot him, and then his head blows up.
Oh my god.
He dies. He blows himself up. And then they're like, you know what? Zuko, you tried to save me, and I'm so sorry. You burned Toph's feet.
What? Why?
It was an accident. She snuck up on him when she was trying to talk to him, and he was like, what's going on? And he's like, I have a lot to learn about controlling my firebender, but I think I'm supposed to teach you. And he's like, I think you're supposed to teach me. I once used firebending irresponsibly and hurt someone I loved. You know what that's like. Right. And so they go to, and he's like, yeah, you're my teacher. And everybody's like, I guess. And Katara's like, listen, you talk a lot about your destiny. You ever fucking think about hurting Aang again? Because we had this talk in Boston and say, I was going to use my spirit water on your stupid fucking scar. I was going to do shit. I believed in you. You betrayed me. If you fucking think about betraying us again, you don't have to worry about your destiny anymore. It'll end right there and then. I'll fucking do it. See, like, Water Tribe. Peace.
Woo, Katara ain't playing around.
And so after that, Zuko tries to teach Aang, and he's like, and he can't do his firebending. And then they're like, what do you mean you can't do your firebending? He's like, I'm out of juice. And Katara's like, ha 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 ha, you have one job and you fucked it up. Fuck you. You suck. And everybody's like, listen, it's funny, but also he needs to learn fucking firebending, Katara. You gotta stop. You gotta stop at that. Turns out, firebending disciplines have been bastardized.
Oh. What do you mean?
It's taught through rage and aggression. That's not how firebending is supposed to be taught. So Toph recognizes, is like, maybe you should learn from the original source of firebending. And Sokka's like, is it volcanoes? And then...
I love me some volcanoes.
And Zuko's like rubbing his eyes. He's like, no, it's from the dragons. And then everybody's like, well, go fucking find some dragons. He's like, I can't. He's like, why? He's like, because my stupid nation fucking killed them all. My uncle was the last one.
Oh.
They did it for sport.
Wait, did he say my uncle was the last one?
Uncle Iroh killed the last dragons, yes.
Oh, I thought you said...
That's why he's known as the Dragon of the West. Oh, I forgot to tell you this cool scene. When they're about to be captured in Ba Sing Se, he's like, you know why they call me the Dragon of the West? And he takes a teacup, a fucking teacup, chugs that shit, and then fucking puts his hand out and blows fire out of his fucking mouth.
Stop, I love it.
In a full fucking circle. I knew I was gonna forget it like 3 weeks ago. I was like, don't forget this, don't forget this, don't forget this.
Carve it
Drunk
into my
Fandom!
memory.
So, so, they go to the original source, and they're like, well, what about the fucking, the sun warriors, the sun people? Like, yeah, they've been extinct for like 5,000 years. Why not? Let's try and find it. So they go to these ruins, and it's really funny because they're like they're modeled after Japanese Imperial Japanese,
Okay.
like shogunate kind of thing.
Sure. Yeah.
Their predecessors are the Sun people, Sun Warriors. Yeah, the Sun Warriors.
Okay.
They're like Mayans.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Like it's so fucking cool. It's different things. They end up going and be like, well, these traps are still relevant in these Sun Warrior temples. Like, yeah, well, you know what? They built them to last. And so they go and they see this thing, and it's like a bunch of statues with the dragons and a stance, and like they go do the stance, and they find out it's like clickety clackety, it's trappity, and
of course.
And then they do the dance of the dragons.
Huh?
And which is a firebending technique, and the Sun Warriors capture them. They're like, "You tried to steal our shit." He's like, "No, I'm the Avatar. I need to learn firebending." He's the prince of.
Please
the Fire
tell me
Nation.
you care about the Avatar.
And they're like, "All right, we'll teach you to the original masters."
There's dragons.
Ran and Shaw. And
Tell me there's dragons.
shut the.
Well, you say original masters. That's my first thought.
They're teaching the masters, so they're showing that firebending is not about destruction; it's actually about life and power and energy.
Well,
And so it's
cool.
like you gotta prove yourself to the original masters, and it's like, yeah, how do we do that? He's like, they give you this flame that they've kept alive for 5,000 years.
Oh, what are we, the Olympics?
Yeah,
What's
basically,
happening?
and they're like, you
Okay.
gotta go up this mountain and meet with the masters. And so they go to do that, and he's like, the masters may not like you. And so they go in there, and Zuko
Maybe
and
I won't
Aang-
like the masters.
Yeah, and Zuko and Aang is like, I'm struggling to keep it alive. And Zuko turns to me like, you're good at this. You'll keep it up. Give it a little bit more juice. You got this.
Oh,
And Aang's like,
no.
yeah, I got this, motherfucker. I got this.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, I'm the Avatar. I got
I'm
this.
the Avatar, babe.
And then so they go up there, and they're like, all right, time to meet the masters. We're gonna do our little dance, and drum beat. They go up there, and they're like, all right, just present your fire. And Aang's fire goes out because he's nervous. He's like, Zuko, give me some of your fire. And Zuko's like, get your own fucking fire. Just make some. He's like, no. He's like, why are you being so stingy? And both of their fires come out, and then dragons come out. A blue and a red dragon, Ron and Shaw, and they just start floating around them and everything like that. And they're like, "What the fuck do we do?" And then and Aang is like, "Still think we can take them?" He's like, "Shut the fuck up! I never said that." He's like, you did. Shut the fuck up. And Aang just sees the way they're flying. And it's like, you know what, Zuko? I think we're supposed to do the dance.
Stop. Do they start
what makes you think
dancing?
we're supposed to do the dance? What makes you think any part of this wants us to just do the dragon dance? So they do the dragon dance, the stance of firebending. And the dragons, they're like, yeah, you dancing dogs! Love it! You got it! You're the next amazing talent on American Idol! Like, they're just loving it. And so they go around them and they're just staring them. And they just fire everywhere on them. But the fire doesn't hit them. The fire is this beautiful cascading rainbow of bullshit.
Oh.
Every color you can imagine.
Oh.
Showing that fire is life. Fire is what kept humanity going. And fucking Zuko's like, I see it now. And Aang is like, yeah, I see it too. And they're like, yo. And then they go to the Sun Warriors and he's like, yeah. See the message, right? And he's like, yeah, I do. Like, yeah, that's the marijuana we put in that shit. No, real talk. They're like, yeah, no, those are the masters. The last firebender to learn from them was your uncle Iroh. He's like, what?
What?
Like, your uncle Iroh. He's like, but my uncle said he killed the last dragon. He's like, your uncle lied, man. Your uncle saw the value of them and wanted to protect them.
That makes way more sense.
Iroh is amazing.
He really is.
Anyway, so I'm gonna tell you right now because you're gonna wonder, and
Okay.
I know I haven't even seen Korra, but I know this. Iroh is such a cool character. They kept him in Korra.
How?
When he died, he didn't die like normal people meant. He went to the spirit world,
Love
he literally serves tea to all the spirits.
Oh my god.
He's just
I
a
love
tea
it.
brewer. in the afterlife.
That's amazing.
Yeah, no, Iroh learned. That's why he was so fierce about the moon spirit. He had learned about the balance of the world and how it needed to be done. All right, so Iroh is just a great character, and and Zuko really like learns so much from him. So after that, like everybody gets to go on, except Toph gets to go on a little journey, a little spirit journey with fucking Zuko.
Oh yeah.
After the Firebender Masters, Zuko is asked by Sokka, like, hey, where would prisoners of war be? And he's like, you don't want to know. And so he tells him it's like the Boiling Rock. And this is where the best line in the entire series happens.
Oh wait, is he gonna save his dad?
Well, you don't want that spoiled, right?
Well, I don't know why else he'd want to know where prisoners of war are.
Yeah. So,
yes.
Oh yeah, I forgot. During the Black Sun, they encounter Azula, and she taunts Sokka with information about Suki, who she captured. And he'd be like, Suki kept saying, like, Sokka would save her, Sokka would free her, and, like, they ate up all their time with that, and, Sokka just wanted...
bitch!
She's such a bitch.
Ah!
So, Zuko asks, Sokka asks them, and then while everybody's asleep, Zuko's, Sokka is about to steal Appa, or borrow Appa to go to the Boiling Rock, where Zuko said, and Zuko's in the what's the thing that a horse has on
saddle?
Thank you, in the saddle. He's like, not going anywhere, huh? And Sokka's like, fuck. And Zuko's like, listen, you can't bring an arrow. Like, he's like, I'm going to rescue my dad and possibly Suki. And everything like that, and all that jazz.
I forgot Suki was kidnapped.
So did I. I'm drunk and I forgot. Yay. Anyway, so, they're going to rescue them, and Sokka is like, we'll take my war balloon. Like a little blimp. He's like, what? No, we'll take
Wait, why
Appa.
does he have a war balloon? When did that happen?
Because he's a member of the royal family. When he left, he took his war balloon. Like a little blimp. Firebenders put fire into
war
it.
balloon?
Yeah.
That sounds adorable.
It actually is super cute. So they go there, and they're flying in the war balloon, and Sokka and Zuko are just sitting in awkward silence, and Sokka tries to break the ice, and he's like, fluffy clouds, and whistling, and they eventually talk about girls, and Zuko's like, yeah, I gave up my girlfriend Mai, I left her behind, like, I betrayed everything, but I'm doing it for the right thing to teach Aang firebending. And Sokka goes, yeah, my first girlfriend turned into the moon. And Zuko replies, that's rough, buddy.
There it is.
There it is. All these years, she didn't know what it meant.
There's the meme.
Good meme.
A very good meme.
When I saw that, I remember, I have brain damage, everyone. I don't remember many things, but I remember that moment and how funny it was. That's rough, buddy. So they go and they end up going to the Boiling Rock, which is a prison inside a defunct volcano in a boiling lake. So the boiling lake is like...
Zuko voiced by Rufio from Hook?
Yeah! And also Jake Long from American Dragon.
Oh, I didn't know that. I never watched that one.
That was a good one.
Yeah?
Yeah. Good one. I enjoyed it. So, what was I saying? Oh, yeah.
They took the war balloon to the prison.
So they did, right? And then they pretend to be guards. The war balloon breaks because when they get to the prison, they can't use the war balloon already because the hot air from the boiling lake is causing it to not rise, so it gets destroyed, and they toss it in the lake. They pretend to be guards, and then they try and get an escape plan, and they don't. Firebenders who are bad are sent to the cooler, which is like a freezer. They can't firebend.
Okay.
So Sokka thinks of a brilliant plan of like, all right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna sneak someone into the cooler. No. This is after what's his name? Zuko is caught. So they go and they find Suki. After realizing that his father isn't there, they spot Suki. Sokka's like, I gotta rescue her. And so they go into her prison cell, and he's like, hey. And she's like, what do you want? He's like, oh, you don't remember me? How about this? And he gives her the kiss emotion, and she beats his ass. And his helmet comes off, and he's like, "Hi, Suki." And she's like, "Sokka, you came for me." And she hugs him and kisses him and a bunch. And he's like, "Yeah." And so, like, Zuko is ousted when he does that. He sneaks out of Suki's spell, and, Sokka didn't want him to get caught, or Zuko didn't want him to get caught.
Right.
Zuko gets caught, and Sokka is like, his cover is maintained, and like they go to break out with a cooler. They get Zuko and another person who was in the cooler. What is his name? Chit Sang, a firebender prisoner, who's being harassed by guards for not bowing down to them. He's like, "I overheard your plan. I want to know what's up." And then Suki and Zuko meet, and he's like, "Nice to meet you." And she's like, "Yeah, we already met in episode 4. You burned down my village." And he goes, "Oh, sorry about that. It's nice to see you again, though." And she's
right. Not great.
And she's like, "You know what? It's all right. I'm gonna just say it. At least thank you for the apology." And so they try and attempt with the cooler. They start a fight. Zuko gets sent to the cooler, and he's given a wrench by Sokka, and he just like disassembles it. And the plan is to sail across in the metal thing, the cooler, like a tube. And then they get caught. Sokka realizes there's more prisoners coming in, and so him, Suki, and Zuko don't leave, but Chit Sang and his girlfriend and a friend leave, and they get caught. And then the warden's like, "No one's ever escaped my prison. Blah, 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 blah. Police brutality. I don't even care. I don't even care. Fuck your rights." Like, literally, they torture him. And they're like, "Who helped you escape? You're too dumb to figure this out." He's like, "A guard did it." And so, like, when Sokka's like, and Suki and Zuko are looking at the new prisoners, they see his dad. And he's like, "Yeah, my dad. Wait, my dad's here. I have to help him."
Right.
And so the warden's like, "Oh, I know who you are, Bato of the Water Tribe. You little defiant fuck. We'll beat that out of you." And so he trips him, and he's like, "What up, bitch?" And all the guards are like, "Just get him out of your there." And so, like, Chit Sang is told, like, "You're too dumb to figure this out. Who'd help you?" And Chit Sang's tortured, and he's like, "It's a guard. A guard did it." And so he singles out the guard who fucking tormented him instead of Sokka. And he goes to Sokka later, and he's like, "I didn't narc. I want out. I know you're thinking about another plan. Come on, my guy." And Sokka's like, "We're actually thinking about another plan right now. I just talked with my dad. My dad thought I was a prison guard, threatened to beat me up. I got that a lot. And then I was like, yeah." And then he was like, "Well, it'll take nothing in the Fire Nation will stop 2 water tribe geniuses." And Sokka was like, "Yeah, looks like we're going to have to find 2 water tribe geniuses." And they were like, "Ha ha 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 ha, father and son pun humor."
Aww.
And so they were like about to start a riot, and Bato was like, "I can do this." He punches a guy, or pushes a guy, and he's like, and the guy goes, "Hey! That hurt my feelings. Why did you do that?" And he's like, aren't you mad at me? Don't you want to fight about it?" He's like, "I would, but I'm trying to control my anger more."
Of course he is.
And then Bato's like, "Oh my, how are we going to start a prison riot to distract and kidnap the warden so we can take the gondola over to the other side of the mountain?" Meanwhile, Azula and Maya are there, and Maya's like, "You broke up with me by a letter." And he's like, "How did you know I was here?" And he's like, my uncle is the warden, you idiot."
Oh.
And so, like, they're back in the prison yard, and Zuko, it was told by Sokka to meet him in the prison yard, like, in an hour. Right? And all this stuff, and so, they go to Chit Sang, and Chit Sang is like, "That's not how you start a riot. Here you start a riot." And he grabs some dude, lifts him over his head, and starts lifting him up and down like a bench press.
Are you serious?
Yes. And he goes, "Riot! Riot!
Stop.
Riot! Riot!" And the dude that Bato pushed was like, "Fuck anger management, let's riot!" And everybody starts rioting. And the firebenders are like, I don't know how to fix this. And the prison warden is up on the top tier of the prison.
We didn't prepare for this.
Right? And everybody's fighting. And he's like, how are we going to get the prison warden? And Chit Sang looks at Sokka and is like, I think your girlfriend already handled it. And this girl is running on people's heads.
Yes.
Jumping up the wall.
Yes.
Flipping around. Firebenders shooting at her. She like grabs their headbands, twirls around them, ties them up, kicks them off the balcony.
I love it.
Goes up to the warden and is like, hi. And the warden's like, you're never gonna, and she's like, shut up now. And like gags him and ties him up. And then Sokka's like, I love you.
Oh my god.
And Bato's like, you have a real special lady. And Sokka's like, I know, right? She's got fucking skill.
I love her.
And so, you know, they go there and they're going and they kidnap the warden. They're on the gondola, and you know the warden eventually breaks free, and Azula attacks, and the warden's like, "Cut the line! Cut the line!" And Azula and Zuko are fighting, and she's like, "What up, Zuzu?" And he's like, "Don't call me that. Hate that name." She's like, "I know, Zuzu," and he's like, 4 elements grant me serenity right now. This bitch right here.
Give me the strength.
And you know, like, you know, they're fighting, and she's like, you know, shooting her firebending off and trying to survive, and they're cutting
not
the
shooting
line.
her lightning.
And she and Tai Lee, you know, escape, and they're like, we're gonna die.
You almost say
my.
Do you almost say Mai Tai? Is that what
Mai
you
Tai,
did?
yeah. I'm drunk. And so, like, Ty Lee is like, I hope that, you know, and her escape, and Bato is like, I hope this gondola floats. And Mai, his goth girlfriend, starts attacking all the guards and pinning them to the wall with knives.
Stop!
And stops them from cutting the thing. And then they escape, and Zuko and the rest of them steal Azula's war blimp. And
I can't believe she
Azula's
helped
like,
him.
what did you do? And she's like, why did you do that? He's like, I did it because I love Zuko. She's like, surely you have to know what would happen. He's like, well, you know what? She's like, you miscalculated. She's like, no, you miscalculated. You thought I feared you more than I loved Zuko. And she's like, no, you should have feared me more. And she's about to, like, lightning strike her, and Ty Lee just, like, chi blocks her. And then Azula is like, the trust is shattered, and she imprisons them both.
Wow.
And they escape
I did
from
not see that coming.
Oh my god, it starts the long, winding road of, like, her craziness.
Oh, yeah.
So, anyway, we're almost done, by the way.
Well, that's a relief.
We are literally almost done. We only have 6 more episodes, and I can wrap it up real quick. The last 4 are all.
I was gonna say, do you have to go through each episode? Can you, like, TLDR them?
Well, episode 17 is a real TLDR, because it's literally a recap of the first 2 seasons.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so the next one is the spiritual journey with Katara. She's like, I hate Zuko. And Zuko's like, I think she hates me. They eventually, they're at the Western Air Temple, and, you know, Azula attacks, and they have this epic duel on the blimps, and, you know, she survives, and Zuko survives, and, you know, we find out all about Katara's past, about the Southern Raiders.
Okay.
So Zuko realizes from the details from Sokka about the flag that there's the Southern Raiders. So I'm about to say.
Oh, is this about her mom?
You know how they kept kidnapping waterbenders?
Yeah.
They got intel there was one last waterbender. Katara's mom protected Katara. She pretended to be the last waterbender. She's like, take me as your prisoner. And the Southern Raiders leader was like, I'm not here to take prisoners.
Aww.
And he kills her. He lights her on fire and incinerates her. And Sokka and Bato. Bato? I don't remember their dad's name. Bato might be the other dude.
Well,
Katara and Sokka's dad. Okay?
Yeah.
We're just gonna call them dad.
That's fine.
So Dad, Sokka, and Katara lose their mother, and it's sad. And
then
you
he
know,
had to go to war.
And Zuko's like, yeah, I know who did it. I know the clan. I'll help you. I'll help you get vengeance.
Oh yeah, magical Zuko adventure.
Toph was like, everybody else got to go on a Zuko adventure. It was sad that we didn't get a Toph Zuko adventure.
That is sad.
Even in comic form, we didn't. It's a travesty.
We'll just have to make her. We'll just have to make our own headcanon about it.
Anyway, so like they're going on a quest and they're like, you're gonna steal Appa, you're gonna borrow Appa, and Aang's like, you can't take vengeance. You should, grant peace. And she's like, shut the fuck up. Killed my mom. I'm over it. And this is such a fucked up moment. And he's like, Sokka's like, she was my mom too. This isn't right. And Katara looks him dead into the windows of his own thing, and she says this. Are you ready?
Okay.
Are you ready to have your heart break?
Maybe.
Then you didn't love her as much as I do.
Oh!
And he starts crying. He's like, how can you say that? And Zuko are like, damn.
This is that family stuff you stay out of?
Like, you can't borrow Appa to do this. And then later that night, they're stealing Appa, and he's like, you were gonna steal Appa? And she's like, yup. So they go to find the water. And she's like, you know what? I forgive you. It's a valuable lesson for you to learn forgiveness. Okay? It's a valuable lesson for you to learn forgiveness, okay?
Okay.
So they go to this other waterbenders. And she just straight up blood bends the fuck out of all of them and throws them.
So she Anakin Skywalker's it.
She does. Throws them all off the ship. There's like one dude left, the captain. And she's like about to kill him, and Zuko's like, don't tell me you didn't remember her. And he's like, I don't remember her. And she looks at him and she's like, that's not the guy. I remember his eyebrows, his stupid fucking eyebrows.
Oh.
And Zuko's like, what? It's not the guy. She's like, it's not the guy. And the guy's just like being bloodbended. He's like, no, I'm not the guy.
Oh.
And they're both like, shut up, you.
This ain't about you.
This ain't about you then. And they tell him that the dude retired like 4 years ago, so they go to hunt his ass.
Oh my god.
And this dude's being manipulated by his mom. His mom is like, you're so stupid. Give me some fresh carrots that don't hurt my gums.
Oh my
He's
god.
like, I can't interest you in any garden. And so this dude goes to the town and he feels like someone's watching him and everything like that. And he goes and it's raining and he lights a bush on fire. And he's like, no one sneaks up on me, no one. And Zuko shoots fire at his face, at his feet, and he goes, we weren't behind the bushes, dummy. And Katara goes and just fucking like straight up knocks his ass down. And then like, and he's like, what's going on? And she's like, do you know who I am? Do you know who the fuck I am? Because your life depends on it, motherfucker.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't. And he's like, oh, that's the wrong answer, bitch. And like all the rain around them, he's like, wait, you're the little water tribe girl. And he goes, yup. Remember how you killed my mom? And he's like, oh no. Oh no.
This is not my day.
This is not my day. My mom was a bitch. I haggled poorly for these carrots. You're the little water tribe girl. He's like, you remember what you did? He's like, I was just doing a job. I was trying to get the waterbender. I was trying to get the last waterbender. He's like, she wasn't the last waterbender. He's like, what? He's like, I was! And she stops the rain around them in a dome and turns it all into icicle like projectiles. Ooh. And he's like, oh no! I'm gonna die. And he's like, please. He's like, you know what? You know what? An eye for an eye. My mom, you can kill her.
Oh my god.
And Zuko's just like, Jesus Christ, dude. I'm laughing so hard. He's like, you know what? Leave me be.
It's fine. Take my mom.
And she just fucking, she's like, you're so fucking pathetic. I can't even. And she goes, you know, I'm not willing to forgive that douchebag later on. She didn't kill him.
She doesn't kill him?
She doesn't
well,
kill him.
I guess I shouldn't be surprised. It's, you know.
It's a kid's cartoon. You
The
gotta
kid
do
show.
it.
Also, like, it is true that, like, vengeance doesn't solve anything. Like, I get it.
And she goes to Zuko. She goes, you know what? I will never forgive him, but I'm ready to forgive you.
Aww.
Like, you know what? You betrayed me at Ba Sing Se. You hunted us, but you're good. And then, you know, like, they have a moment, and Aang's like, violence is never the answer. And Zuko goes, yeah, what about my dad? What are you gonna do when you face him?
Oh.
And he's like, that's future Aang's problem, motherfucker.
That's just future Aang has to worry
All right,
about
we're
that
almost
one.
done. I know we keep saying it, and this is
Please.
so long. It's so good. There's so
Like,
much.
don't get me
content.
wrong, I'm enjoying it, but like.
All right, so the next episode is literally a filler episode. It's called the Ember Island Players. So the cast is hiding out on Ember Island, where the Fire Nation, Fire Lord's summer beach house is.
Okay.
No one thinks to look for them there, so it's like, yeah, whatever. We'll go to the beach house. Aang and Zuko continue their firebending training, and Sokka and Suki return. And it turns out there's a play
Okay.
on Ember Island
Is this a
called The
musical?
Boy in the Iceberg.
Is this a musical episode?
It's basically a fucking play.
Okay.
And everybody's really excited to see it, and Zuko is like, no, the troupe is terrible. You're not gonna have fun. They've butchered Love Amongst the Dragons. Sokka wants to see it. So they go see this play, and it recaps the first 2 seasons of Avatar The Last Airbender, basically.
Okay.
Aang is played by a woman. Katara is played by a woman who is, like, super dramatic on everything. Sokka is played by an idiot. Toph is played by a giant man who screams everything, and she's enjoying that. And like everybody's super uncomfortable about their fucking reactions. And you know,
Except
at the end
Toph,
of the play,
apparently.
you know, they show like what the future is gonna look like, and it's like the Fire Lord kills Aang in the future, and Aang is like, oh my god, I can't deal with this shit right now. And then we're up to the finale. The finale is Sozin's comment. So it starts off with Zuko being like, you gotta firebend better. And they have like a little beach party, and they're doing sandcastles, and Zuko attacks Aang, and everybody's like, why are you fucking crazy right now? And he's like, why am I crazy? Sozin's comment's in 3 days. Why aren't any of you prepared? He's not ready. And they're like, oh, our bad, we didn't tell you. And he's like, tell me what? He's like, well, because Ba Sing Se was already conquered, and what can the Fire Nation do? We just thought, like, just wait until after the comet, and so Aang could, you know, do him at his best. And Zuko just sits down, he's like, oh my fucking god, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you this. I didn't think it'd be relevant.
Okay.
So before I left the Fire Nation, I sat in a meeting with my dad, and they're like, yeah, and it's like, so here's what they're gonna do.
Okay.
They're gonna use the blimps, and they're gonna use the firebending and the comet, and they're literally just gonna burn the entire Earth Kingdom down. They're gonna use the blimps in a formation and just firebend like a giant cascading flamethrower and kill everything and everyone. They're like, what? He's like, yeah, no. They realize they'll never give up, so they're just gonna burn the world, and then I quote, it will be reborn like a phoenix from the ashes.
Nope. That's not good.
So then they train a little bit more, and Aang doesn't want to kill Fire Lord Ozai. You know, Zuko teaches him lightning redirection.
Who, Aang?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Right? And so Sokka and everything, they make a dummy to naming it Melon Lord. And Sokka has to be Melon Lord, and they get a little too into the LARP.
Oh.
They're like, I am not tough, I am Melon Lord. And you know, they're trying to formation tactics to take down the Fire Lord. And right when Aang can deliver the killing blow, he falters, and Sokka chastises him and cuts the melon in half. And he's like, "That's how you do it, right?"
Okay.
And then that night they're eating dinner. Katara finds a baby picture in the attic, shows it to everybody, thinking it's Zuko. Turns out this cute little baby is actually Ozai, and everybody's like, "That sweet little thing turned out to be a monster." And it's like, yeah. And Aang is mad. He's like, I can't kill him. Why don't one of you figure this shit out? And he leaves. and he meditates at the beach house, and he falls asleep, and he awakens on a strange small island off the shore.
Okay.
Or no, he awakens to the strange small island off the shore.
Okay.
And then he just swims to it and disappears. And then the rest of the people are like, "Where's Aang?" And so they go back to the first season, the woman with the sheer shoe, Jennifer Hale, right?
Wait.
June. They go to contact her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The Bossing
one with
Say
the tracker.
brainwash.
Yeah, and they try and find Aang, and he's like, "He's not of this world anymore." And he's like, "What? Is he dead?" He's like, "No, if he was dead, he could still find him. He doesn't exist anymore."
Oh, that's fine.
And it's like, "Are you telling me the Avatar doesn't exist?" And he's like, "Yep." Ain't a bit of a thinker, huh? And they're like,
Fine.
"What?" So they go with the fallback plan, and they try and find Iroh.
Okay.
Based off his scent. And they go and they find Iroh and the Order of the White Lotus, and they're attacked by the Order of the White Lotus.
Right.
And they're like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And it's King Boomy, who
Hey!
escaped during the Day of Black Sun. It's
Okay.
John, the Fire Master who trained Aang initially, Paku, the Water Master who trained Aang and Katara, Boomy, and Pian Dao, the swords master for yada yada. Meanwhile, they encounter them. They meet Iroh. Iroh is the leader of the White Lotus, and oh my god, it's so sad. He goes in, and Zuko just sits in his tent waiting for him to wake up. He wakes up and he can't look at Zuko, and Zuko's just like, "I'm so sorry. I betrayed you. I failed you in every way, and I don't know how you can ever forgive me, but I'm so sorry." And he just turns around and hugs him and grips him, and they both are crying, and he goes, "I'm not mad at you. I was saddened. I thought you had lost your way." And it's just like the saddest moment. Meanwhile, Aang is on this island. He doesn't really know what's going on.
Magical, spiritual, I'm not in existence fucking journey,
Yeah.
apparently.
And so he's trying to figure out, insight, because he doesn't want to kill Ozai. And so he talks to his past lives. He's like, Roku's like, "Listen, if I killed Sozin, this wouldn't be a problem. Do what needs to be done." He's like, "Okay, all right, maybe Kiyoshi." He goes to Kiyoshi, and he's like, you encountered Chin the Conqueror. You stopped him, but he died due to his own negligence. He killed himself by not by not jumping off, backing away from that ledge." She goes, "Yeah, but I really would have killed him if I had to." And he just like, "I knew I shouldn't have asked Kiyoshi." And so he asked the other Avatar, what was the fucking other Avatar? Karuk, the waterbender. And Karuk was like, "I was kind of like live and let live kind of Avatar, but then Ko the Face Stealer stole my love. And if I was had a more hands-on approach, that probably wouldn't have happened. So do what needs to be done." And he's like, You know what? Like the one woman on Google who wants to cherry pick autism and vaccines data, I'm gonna ask an airbender. I'm gonna ask them because they'll get it." So he asks the airbender, Yang Chen, this beautiful woman who's an airbender, and she's like, "Yeah, but I know that the monks teach you a way and they taught you well, but you're the Avatar. We don't get to have spiritual enlightenment. We have to do what needs to be done."
Oh.
And he's just like internal screaming the entire time.
He's like the guy with the board meme.
Yes.
He's trying to connect all the dots on how to not kill.
Yes, but it can't make it work.
Can't make it work.
And meanwhile, the Order of the White Lotus is like, we're gonna re-liberate Ba Sing Se. And Zuko is like, you gotta fight your brother. And he's like, "No. History will look at it as just one brother trying to kill another for power. The Avatar has to be that neutral party that stops him.
Right.
I'm gonna go stop Ba Sing. I'm gonna liberate Ba Sing Se." And he goes, "Zuko, you need to go back to the Fire Nation. When the Avatar defeats Ozai, you will need to take the crown.
Oh.
We will need a leader who is unapologetic, who has struggled, and who will lead us into a brave new direction. He's like, me? And he's like, yeah, not your crazy bitch sister.
Your crazy sister.
So they all split up. Zuko and Katara go to handle Azula before she claims the throne. Toph, Suki, and Sokka are going to handle the blimp fleet. And Aang is on this
The mystical, magical, spiritual journey.
He is.
Right now, I'm just happy that Zuko didn't go alone because his sister scares me.
Wait until I tell you what happened. So, okay. So, Aang is like, wow, this island is moving. And he goes in, and it's a giant lion turtle. And the lion turtle speaks to him.
How many things got mixed with turtles in this setting?
Yeah, it's a lion turtle. It's a giant island that is a lion turtle. You know, like the Pandarans.
No, I'm understanding that. Just like there are a lot of turtle breeds apparently. Duck turtle.
Turtle duck.
Now
thank you very much.
lion turtle.
Listen, it's a turtle duck.
Okay.
I'm gonna correct you until the estrogen is in my system.
Oh, okay.
Can't wait for October.
Hmm.
Yeah, so he stands before the lion turtle, and the lion turtle is like, you know, before we bended the elements, our people bended energy with people. And then they tap Aang's head. He's like, see, look at this shit. I just taught you a cool technique. And he's like, thanks, mystical plot device. He's like, I got you back, bro.
Ah, there's the plot device.
Yeah, it's a plot. It's a good plot device.
Well, you know, we generally talk innately about plot devices, but like
You're gonna see why it's a plot device. There
are good
up.
plot devices, though. You know what I mean?
It holds up even to Korra.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then, Sozin Kaimet's flying through, and the Fire Lord's like, I'm the Phoenix King now. Azula, you're the Fire Lord. He's like, okay, cool. And she loses her shit. She starts banishing everybody because she can't trust people because of what happened with May and Ty Lee.
Right.
You know, the blimp fleet is like, all right, so we're gonna fly over this ocean. We're gonna go to the Earth Kingdom, and then we're gonna just basically be on our blimp.
Yeah.
On the little ground platforms on the blimp. You know,
sure,
like how they have
yeah.
railings? We're gonna wire them in, and then they're all gonna have flamethrower fists and just burn the land. Oh, also, the lion turtle goes, okay, here's where you're gonna save the world. He's like, what? He's like, just stay here. They'll come to you. How do you know this? He's like, do.
I'm the mother effing turtle thing.
Turtle lion, yeah, exactly. So, you know, Suki, Toph, and Sokka go and handle the blimps. She metal bends and fucking takes down the captain of the ship and everything like that on the blimp that they hijack.
Nice.
And then he's like, so what are we gonna do? And he's like, I got an idea. And so Sokka pulls it. He's like, hello, everybody. I'm the captain of the ship, and I would like everybody to go to the bombing bay because we have hot cakes and sweet rolls for a very special birthday.
Oh my god.
And so everyone on the blimp goes to the bombing bay.
Because of course they do.
And so there's this little scene. He's like, hey, like a fire communications officer in armor is like, hey. Up and he's like, I'm so and so. And he's like, hey, yeah, I'm so and so. I work in engineering. Where do you work? Communications. Yeah, that's probably what we haven't seen much of each other. He's like, yeah. So whose birthday is it? And some dude in the background goes, hey everybody, I can't believe the captain remembered my birthday.
Oh my god.
They really do care. And then as that line happens, they drop everyone into the ocean.
I love it. It's so dumb.
And then one of the dudes goes to the birthday boy and looks at him while they're all swimming.
Yeah.
And goes, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Love it.
And so they turn the blimp and they start crashing the blimp into all the other blimps and hopping, and Suki gets separated from everybody else.
Oh no.
And then eventually,
is she okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so great. So they, you know, Sokka and Toph are on the last blimp. listen, all this happens at different points. I'm just going to explain what happens to everybody so we don't have to go back and forth.
Yeah.
So Sokka and Toph get to the last blimp, and Sokka breaks his leg, and he's holding her as she's dangling from his wrist. And there are 2 firebenders that come up, and he throws a boomerang at one, and then he throws his space sword. Oh my god, I forgot. The sword he made was from a meteorite from space.
What? That's so
The
cool!
blade was black as night. And he throws the sword and slices the
I can't believe
platform
you
that-
almost didn't tell me about space sword.
I can't believe I didn't tell you about the space sword. I'm so drunk. Oh, forgive me.
I do.
So he throws the space sword, and he basically causes the other firebender to like dangle from a little wire. And he looks at Top, and he's like, bye-bye, space sword.
No, does he lose the
He
space
loses
sword?
it. He never gets it back. And so, like, he threw the boomerang at the other guy, and then, like, 20 fucking firebenders come, and they're all staring him down and be like, you know, like that meme of the football player behind the tree rubbing his hands, like, licking his lips? That's what it was like. There were, like, 20 firebenders be like, about to kill this child. And he looks at Toph, who's blind,
Oh.
and he goes, I don't think Boomerang's coming back, Toph. I think this is it. And she's like, I get it. And she starts crying. And the firebender's like, oh Lord, gonna burn some children. And then a blimp crashes into them. And then Sokka and Toph crash into the blimp and fall. And they're like, what's going on? And Toph is like, I can't see anything because I'm blind.
Oh.
And he's like, did a Fire Nation fuck up? And Sokka says, no, Suki came back. She took out a whole blimp by herself and
Oh my god, I love it.
She's so hardcore, I can't.
I love her so much.
And so, like, that's what happens to Toph, Sokka, and Suki. Now let's go to Katara and Zuko. So, you know, Katara's losing her shit. Not Katara. Azula's losing her shit.
Right.
You know,
The
she's
crazy
seeing
lady.
traitors everywhere. She's banishing people. And then, you know, Zuko comes to claim the throne, and she's like, Agni Kai. And he's like, fine, I can do it. Katara's like, you told me you couldn't take her by yourself. And he's like, look at this bitch. She's crazy right now. She's off her game. I could take her. And they're fighting, and the flames are everywhere. Like, you know, like, a firebender could shoot like 10 feet. Imagine now they shoot like 200 yards. Like, 2 football stadiums. That's how fucking powerful the comet has made them. So they're fighting and everything, and he's like, why haven't you shot lightning at me, bitch? You afraid I'll redirect it at you? You afraid I'm gonna be like, psh, 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 lightning back? And she's like, oh, you want the lightning? You want the lightning? And she starts channeling lightning, and he's like, I'm ready. And she looks at right to his right.
Uh-huh.
And she sees Katara, and she's like, dodge this, bitch.
No.
Redirect this, bitch. And he looks at her and sees lightning, and he's like, no. And he jumps in front of the lightning and can't deflect it, and he just takes the whole brunt and almost dies. And he's just like on the ground, like barely breathing, and he's like,
Well, he did just get shocked by lightning.
and he's like trying to get, and Azula's like, come here, little peasant, I'm gonna kill you. And she's like, fire, lightning. And Katara's like, shit, this bitch is crazy. And so she's trying to run and just gather her bearings.
Why are you laughing?
Well, Zuko's just like fucking dying on the ground. Because what happens is fucking hilarious.
It better be.
So they end up getting caught over a sewer grate, and Azula's like, light! And as that's happening, Katara just waves her hands up in the air like nobody cares, and water comes up all around both of them, engulfing both of them.
Huh?
And she freezes it to ice. So she traps them both in ice.
Okay.
And then Azula's like looking around like, what the fuck am I in ice for? And Katara closes her eyes, breathes deep, and the ice around her starts to turn to water.
Okay.
And she grabs chains from nearby from the sewer grate, and she wraps the chains around that crazy bitch, and she binds her hands down into the sewer grate so she can't firebend.
Wow.
And so this woman is just tied down, and she starts crying and screaming and shooting fire out of her mouth like a fucking rabid dog.
Yeah, like a crazy, wild.
Yeah, like an animal.
Yeah.
She just lost it. And Katara rushes over to Zuko, and she heals him with water, and he looks at her and she says, "Thank you." And she goes, "No, I should be thanking you. Because if he didn't do that, he would have won the fight. He could have won the fight hands down. She would have died."
Oh, yeah.
Because when he did the lightning thing, he literally, like, tried the technique, but he held it all in and just hurt himself.
Well, he probably couldn't focus because he had to leap in front of, a fucking lightning bolt.
Yes! So, now we're gonna go to Iroh in the Order of the White Lotus. So they go to Ba Sing Se, and people are, like, in tanks and firebending, and he's like, "You know what? Once in 100 years, a firebender can feel this strength." And he breathes deep, and he's like, "Fireball! Hadouken!" Like, he just fucking blows the wall down. Boomy is, like, lifting all the troops from the Order of the White Lotus. Like, it's like a platoon. It's like 30 people taking an entire city. They're fucking that talented. Master Paku and Jean-Jean's flying in the air, throwing up firewalls to deflect the fire. Paku's throwing up ice walls. Fucking, Sokka's Master Piao Cho is, like, sliding on ice, cutting everybody's weapons in half. It's wild. They take back the city. Boomy just, like, starts breaking all the tanks. Crazy. They take back the city. Right? Now we're going to go to Aang versus Ozai. So, right? The blimps are coming. This is before Sokka brought him out on. The blimps are coming. He just starts throwing rocks at the blimp's engines and breaks it. And then lights it on fire so the blimp can't. And what does Ozai do? Ozai just, like, fire bends flies at him. Because he's so powerful he can use propulsion. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So he propulsions forward. They're having a fight, like everything like that. And like Aang is trying his best, but he's just not as talented as this dude. He's been trained his entire life as a firebender with Chosen's kind.
Right.
And he eventually, like he gets beaten down, and he eventually like curls himself in a ball of earth, like a stone ball. And this dude is like, "Your people."
He's like
Ozai,
12.
Ozai, yeah, he's like 12. Ozai goes, he's like, "Your people didn't deserve to live in my world. Your people were weak, just like you." And he just keeps hammering the ball, right? And this entire season, Aang has been locked out from the Avatar state.
Right.
Because he locked his chakra. He didn't give up earthly attachments, right?
Okay.
So he's just hammering the ball, and Aang is crying and sweating in this ball of earth, trying to survive. He goes, "Now join your people!" And he just shoots one more fireball in there, and the energy breaks, the earth breaks, and Aang goes flying forward, trying to deflect it with earth, water, and air, and fire, just trying to keep himself from being hurt. And he falls backwards into rubble. And in the rubble, there is a spiky piece of earth that hits him right in the back where his wound was, unlocking the final chakra, allowing him to regain the Avatar state. He's laying in the rubble.
Wait, so it was a physical ailment?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The scar and the wound from being killed by lightning hurt him.
Oh, alright.
Basically, Ozai chiropractored the Avatar state back.
Oh, well,
So
that's
Ozai comes
unfortunate
in
for
to, like,
Ozai.
Ozai comes, yeah, good guy Ozai. He comes in to try and deliver the final blow. Aang erupts from the rubble, glowing, grabs him by his stupid little beard, yanks him down, fully avatared, and Ozai is like, "Uh-oh." And tries to, like, just, like, like, free hands, fire bend into him. And Aang just bitch slaps that hand back. Whooshes him back. Like, Ozai's like, oh no. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
This is the end.
This is the end.
Hold your breath and count to 10.
It's like that meme with the scarecrow be like, fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, God, I just wanted to be Fire Lord of the Phoenix King. And so, Aang just rises up into the air. Earth, around him, air around him in a spherical way, fire, water. He just takes all 4 elements and just starts chasing this bitch down. And Ozai's trying to fucking flee and fight back, and every time it's just like bitch slap, bitch slap, bitch slap, bitch slap, snippity, snap, crack, snap, crackle, pop. Snapping my fingers right now in case you can't hear that.
You know what? I mean, I can't see it or hear it, so that's good.
But you imagine it.
I did. I imagined it.
And he's like, Fire Lord, like he imprisons him in earth and stuff like at one point he surrounds himself with like floating debris and like a big stone, right? A big stone. There's multiple stones.
Okay.
And he takes this stone and he just like peppers it off like fucking bullets and just shoots it down a canyon. It's wild. I can't even describe this. I couldn't describe this sober, let alone drunk. He fucking wrecks him.
I think you're doing pretty good.
So he goes and imprisons him in stone, and he's like, Fire Lord Ozai, you have thrown this world out of balance. You and your entire ancestors. And for that, you will pay the ultimate punishment. And he's about all 4 elements, wind, earth, water, fire, wrap around each other, and about to fucking kill this bitch who's trapped in stone.
I'm waiting for the Nickelodeon escape from this that they're about to do.
And then Egg stops the Avatar state in the water, and all this stuff just splashes all over. He's like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I can't kill him. Not right. And then Ozai's like, with all that power, you're still so weak, and tries to attack him.
Idiot.
And Aang sees the attack before it's gonna happen because of the earthbending that Toph taught him.
Yeah.
He can sense it. So he just like block hand, and then he's about to shoot fire. He shoots fire out of one hand, blocks the hand and brings it down. Shoots fire out of the other hand, blocks the hand with earth, brings it down. Then brings the Fire Lord to his knees, like pushes the earth to downtown Abbey, British style, right?
Okay.
And he shoots mouth fire. He shoots
mouth fire.
And Egg is just like, shut the fuck up, and just air blows that shit right back down his esophagus. And then the dude is like, what's up? And Egg just puts his thumb and his index finger on his forehead and just calmly channels his energy. Closes his eyes, and the Fire Lord's like, what's going on? What's going on? And Aang is doing, for the first time that we have seen, energy bending. Energy bending refers to the actual chi and chakra of the body. So he goes, energy bending is a technique that he learned from the turtle lion.
So would this be a secret thing airbenders can do, or is this an Avatar thing?
It's a secret thing that the Avatar was taught
by
the lion turtle. The original. But all bending of every form was taught by animals. The dragons taught fire. The moon was taught by taught water bending. My knowledge. The badger moles taught earth, and the dragons were fire, and the air was taught by the air bison, sky bison.
No, what I'm saying is, do you think any airbender could learn this, or do you think this is just an Avatar thing?
No, anybody can learn this, I think.
Anyone?
I think so, but you would have to have a lion turtle teach you.
I would just like to think that airbenders should get a second thing.
It's an incredibly dangerous technique, though. So what happens is when he places his thumb on there, their energies are shown forth. Like, the world doesn't see it, but we see it as the audience. Aang is blue, Ozai is red. So red versus blue, 100%. Right? You need to be in perfect alignment. You need to have steely resolve, or else you will be corrupted and destroyed. The energy from the opposing person could corrupt you and override you. It's basically a matter of willpower versus willpower.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So Aang is doing this, and the red starts to consume him, covering every aspect of it. Ozai's willpower is much stronger than Aang's. We're left to it's just engulfing him, and the eye is the last shining beacon is Aang's eye, about to go out, and then the music shifts, and the Avatar is awakened once again, and just shuts that shit the fuck down. The blue energy comes bursting out like a dam just burst, and just overrides Ozai, and he takes away his firebending.
Oh,
He was able
what?
to lock it the fuck out.
Wait,
And
but how
he's-
does that stop him from being a conqueror?
he has no power anymore.
I guess that's true.
He basically is now at the mercy of the Avatar, who can wield all 4 elements. He's on a giant fucking rock. He can't even climb down, right? And Ozai's like, "What did you do to me?" And he's like, "I took your bending away. You can't hurt or threaten anyone anymore.
Now
You're
you're
going to
the
be jailed.
peasant.
You're the peasant. Yeah,
You're
exactly.
the peasant.
You're the bitch." And so, Sokka and Suki and everybody find him, and they're like, "Haha, how about that, loser lord?" And so,
You suck.
you suck. He's like, "I'm the Phoenix Kid." He's like, "You're the king of shit."
You're the king of suck.
I think they actually say that, "You're the king of suck."
I mean, that'd be
Something
amazing.
like adjacent to that. So, he does that, and we're almost to the ending. We're like 2 minutes away. Are you ready? So Zuko is like, I can't believe, weeks pass. Aang and Zuko are, and everybody's in the Fire Nation, and Zuko is about to become the Fire Lord. He goes, I can't believe a year ago my destiny was hunting you. And Aang goes, I can't believe a year ago I was still in that fucking iceberg.
Oh
And they
my
hug,
god,
and
it
he's
hasn't even been a
He's
year?
like, yeah, it hasn't even been a year. It's been like 6 months.
Oh my
He had
god.
to master all 4 elements in 6 months. Where most avatars spend decades.
Well, he kind of cheated on fire. He didn't really master it.
He didn't master
Just saying,
Earth either.
like-
he mastered air and water.
He mastered it enough to watch punches come at him. That's pretty good.
So they have this moment, and Zuko is like, the world is going to be a very different place, and Aang is like, but we'll get through it together, and they hug.
Aww.
And so Zuko
They're
gives this
friends
speech.
like Roku and Sozin, only not
Yeah, they are. They
not dick shits.
So I'm not going to talk about the comics, but there's a lot. So real talk, the originally Avatar: The Last Airbender was supposed to have 4 seasons. There was supposed to be a book 4, which was Air, which is the after effects of the war. But the war ending on book 3 on Fire, like this ending, was so powerful. They were like, anything we do will just kind of ruin the ending.
Yeah.
And so they continued it in comic form, which was fine. So Zuko gives a speech at his coronation about, I'm not a hero. The Avatar is a hero who brought balance. We have a long journey ahead of us, but we can do it together. We will forge a brave new world full of peace and prosperity, where no one has to live in fear.
That's really nice.
And, so they have a moment. They're in Basin Say. Sokka is painting a portrait of all of them, and he's doing a bad job of it.
Right.
And Aang, laughs, and Katara, he leaves to look over the city of Ba Sing Se, and Katara does as well. And they both look at each other, and they laugh and smile, and they kiss. And this is they get married and have 3 children.
Aww.
And that's the end. That's the end of Avatar: The Last Airbender. It had a perfect ending.
That really was.
It ends with the bad guys, the Imperials, getting defeated, hope being restored, and the world being thrown into a new, glorious age of uncertainty, but peace, prosperity, and hope. So, what did you learn about Avatar: The Last Airbender?
I understand why people champion this show so much. I'm very invested. I really want to watch it.
Can I be real with you for a
But
second?
I learned that if you ever become the Avatar, don't run away and freeze yourself in an ice block. You will fuck yourself later. Also,
You're not wrong.
mastering all 4 elements, you could cheese most of that. And just have a turtle teach you to take away bending and you're good.
I think she got it, chat. I think she got it, loyal listeners. But yeah, no, you know how you're so many people stand for the series? You can understand.
I see it. I really do.
It is, so I said this at the beginning of the podcast. It is the Star Wars of our generation. And what I mean by that, by the Zoomers, the millennials, everything. If you were a young adult or a teenager in 2005, this was your Star Wars. This was your moment. This show taught a lot about anti-imperialism, taught about so much.
No, it seems like really cool. Like,
like I said, the showrunners were white, right? The showrunners were white, and normally when it comes to, and I don't like to talk about race or stuff like that, but like real talk, a lot of problems with showrunners or writers who are white, and when they try and adapt a genre or a setting that comes from a position from a person of color, whether it's Asian, African American, Indian, Native American, they fuck up really hard because they just don't look at the right things about it. The showrunners of this looked up a lot. This show had so much nurturing and elements to it that did it so well that people look at it and go, they did right.
yeah.
Like I said, all the nations are based on different things.
Thank you everyone so much for joining us for Drunk Fandom. This is we don't really do episodes at numbers anymore. So I don't actually know where this place is in or if it'll be cut out or not, but we finished recording the season finally with this episode. So we're very excited to kind of release that. And yeah. We want to give a special shout out to our sponsor to your Patreon, Nejikuma. You and all the other subscribers help keep the channel growing and the content flowing. We really appreciate it. As full-time content creators, we rely on, generous donations, subscriptions, you watching or listening to this for that sweet, sweet ad revenue. We don't actually directly make money off any of the content. All these podcasts are free, our comics are free, which, by the way, we make webcomics in case you're listening to this on Spotify or iTunes or Google, whatever. I don't think it's Google Play anymore by this point. I'm not 100% sure. But we really appreciate it. We appreciate everyone who tunes in, who supports us in any way they can. It keeps us employed doing this. It's great. So, thanks again for listening. I'm Jen, aka Bat, aka Clam, a million nicknames. That's me. I'm Daenerys, basically, of the nicknames. I didn't actually burn these cities down. And then, my drunk wife co-host here, Leia. And
I want a cookie.
Alright.
I saw a cookie online, and now I want a big chocolate chip cookie.
Just remember to stay safe.
Stay positive. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching our video. Now to give a special shout out to our sponsor tier patrons. Nejikuma, we appreciate all the support you give to us. You keep the channel growing and the content flowing. If you want to be alerted to when we post a new video, make sure to ding that bell next to the subscribe button. If you like the content you see here, then consider tossing us a follow on twitch.tv/fierceferrets.
And if you're really feeling the ferrety love, please consider supporting our work at patreon.com/fierceferrets. We don't make any money here on YouTube, so we rely on the generosity of our Twitch and Patreon subs, listed in these credits here, to bring more quality entertainment to you. And you'll get some great rewards for helping out. Thanks again, friends!
And we'll see you next video.